it's time to give a little back. For a limited time at your local Toyota dealer, get 3 new tires and get the 4th for $1. Because a ride that's always there for you deserves to be taken care of. 3 tires, get the 4th for $1? Go on. Treat your Toyota. Deal ends April 30th. Keep your Toyota a Toyota. Restrictions apply. Toyota and Scion vehicles only. See participating Toyota dealers for details.
The next 30 seconds could save you hundreds on your car insurance. At The Hartford, we're passionate about your protection. If you're 50 or over, AARP Auto Insurance from The Hartford gives you benefits that really matter. And you could save $597 when you switch. How's that for a little peace of mind? Visit trusthartford.com today. The Hartford, your protection is our passion. The Hartford Insurance Group, Inc. pays royalty fees to AARP for the use of its intellectual property. AARP and its affiliates are not insurers. Savings vary.
Spring is in the air, and Alev's long-lasting pain relief is here to keep you moving. The days are longer and the flowers are blooming. Whether it's gardening, yard work, or just spending more time outdoors, spring is a way of getting us moving despite any body pain. That's where Aleve can keep you going. With just 1 dose, Aleve gives you long-lasting body pain relief for up to 12 hours. From sunup to sundown, Aleve's got your back. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
KHDK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson. Online at SactownSports.com or on the app. Kings, Niners, and Sacramento. The Matt and Kayla Show starts now.
Are either of you guys into board games?
What do you mean? Are we into board games?
Like, do you enjoy?
What does that mean?
Do you enjoy playing board games? Do you play? Do you
once
play
in a while when I am doing something like that? But that's not often.
But you don't like seek out like there's a board game I love to play.
But if someone asked me like, "Hey, we're with the family, like family's in town,
right.
or the kiddos want, the nephews want to play," I'm down for board games.
Because we've talked about, I think on this show we've talked about Monopoly before, right? Different versions of Monopoly that we have. But Kyle, you're a big board game guy?
Okay, I'm not a board game guy, but I live in a board game household. So I have come around a bit over the last couple of years.
You've been looped in.
Yeah, exactly.
The reason why I ask is because my son is now super into board games.
Oh.
Like super into them. And this morning, he got up really early because he wanted to be able to play. I told him I'd play a game with him before I left for work. And so I let him choose the game. And he's been super into Candyland and super into Sorry as of late. So I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be Candyland, it's going to be Sorry, something like that. I come out to the living room after getting ready because I told him, hey, set up the game like on the coffee table or something, and we'll play a game really quick before I have to leave. I walk out into the living room, and the Twister mat is on the ground.
Let's go.
And like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to break this kid's heart. Like, no, we're not playing this. He's all ready to go. He's like sitting on the couch with the little spinner on his lap. Like, here we go, Dad. Let's go.
I love it. Is that why you're limping this morning? Because you like strained a hamstring?
I hurt. I played 2 rounds. He called the first one. It was like right hand on blue. Easy, right? That's literally the first one. I dropped down into just a squat to put my hand on there. And this is, again, one of the first things I do this morning. And I'm like, oh no, this doesn't feel good. And then, like, I think I lasted 5 spins. And I was just like, son, I'm dropping. I'm out. It's your turn.
I love it.
And of course, my son, like, kids are just Gumby. He's like wrapped up like a pretzel.
Yeah.
Somehow his wrist was almost all the way turned around. Playing Twister first thing in the morning, not recommended.
No,
not recommended. I've never felt more old in my life than literally dropping down to a crouch to put my first move and going, oh no.
Well,
that's been the first time I played Twister in forever.
It's probably a good thing that we never got you to go to hot yoga, because hot yoga is essentially a game of Twister.
Oh, I would have been a mess.
And I don't know if you would have actually gotten out of the building.
Yeah, just help.
I might have had to call like the what are they called? The paramedics.
I still want to try it. I still want to do it.
I know. We got to do it at some point, but you might need to do some stretching prior to that from what I just heard about that Twister story.
I have not played Twister probably since like teenage years, maybe.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time.
And the fear that I felt just seeing
Just
the
see
Matt.
the board? Yeah.
I didn't know he played Twister before.
I wonder if someone gave him some sort of clue or if he saw some. I really wonder what sparked his interest for that particular game to pull that out and have that ready. Did Mom say anything?
Mom was sleeping. She had nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it.
So
okay.
I wanted to blame her, but no, she had nothing to do with it. He just pulled it out, and he was ready to go.
He was ready.
He was
like,
ready to play
Twister.
And I
He
hated
knew
it.
he was going to dominate you at that game.
Well, he certainly did. He wins on all the games though. Like I swear, board game luck for kids is a real thing because they and you don't just like
because they don't overthink it, Matt.
Although my son is now learning like what cheating is, but he doesn't know how to do it like effectively. So we'll play Candyland. And he'll take specific cards and he'll hide them. But he's very obvious. Like he will while I'm staring at him to pick his next card, he'll go, hold on. And then like turn and pick up the card he wants and then play it. And then look at me like, whoa, the peanut card. I'm like, yeah,
he
great.
needs to be introduced to me. We'll teach him some things.
Are you you do cheat
Remember,
at board
I
games.
take that Monopoly money once in a while.
You for sure cheat at board games. For sure. You ever played Settlers of Catan?
No, you've asked me this before because you and Kyle, I think, have played it.
I played it one time, I won, and I won't play again.
Oh, you lose friendships over that game, let me tell you.
Sounds fun.
Michael says Matt prefers the Lord of the Rings version of Monopoly. If that existed, I would. I don't know if that exists or not.
I think that should
It's got to exist, right?
They've got everything.
I have Lord of the Rings versions of games. I have Lord of the Rings Risk. I have Lord of the Rings Stratego.
There are multiple versions of the Lord of the Rings Monopoly. One is from 2003. One's a slightly more recent version.
Might have to buy that.
Yeah,
I did just buy a game recently for content, and what I want to do for a digital exclusive thing, although it's going to be hard to get everybody in the room to play it, I got a card game version of Survivor, and I want us as a station to play it because it'd be funny as hell. Like you have two live. It's a game of Survivor, and it's very much like, have you played the card game Exploding Kittens?
No.
It's
that sounds PETA-like.
It's not as bad as it sounds.
Oh, okay, euthanize horses over there. All of a sudden now.
Hey, that was yesterday. Yesterday's show was yesterday's show.
We
turned over a new leaf here.
Was that only yesterday?
That was
it
only
was.
yesterday.
Unfortunately, this week is a little weird.
But it's a card game, but you have tribal council and you can make alliances and stuff. And I watched a YouTube group play it, and it looked amazing. So I bought it immediately. I have it. I want us all to play a game of Survivor because I think it would be funny as hell and it would be great content. I just have to get everybody in the room.
Oh, by the way, have you finished after about a month?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Oh my God.
No,
okay,
I haven't.
Nope, stop.
No.
So Matt has literally applied to the game show.
I know.
The reality show Traders.
I mean, it's a game
yet he
show.
has not even finished
I know.
Traders this season.
I've been putting it off because MLB The Show, the video game, came out, and that's all I do with my time now is spend my time with my kid and then play MLB The Show.
So you don't know who won?
No, I don't, but I have a pretty good idea based off of how the show's going because
it's everywhere now.
I've actually dodged all the spoilers, which is pretty amazing.
Impressive.
But based off of who's dominating the game, I have a guess.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It gets very funky at the end.
I'm really far behind on Survivor too. Like I'm way out of the loop on Survivor.
Is this the one with Katie's husband?
Well, Katie's husband is back in it currently in this season, but that's his second time.
Right.
This is like the 50th anniversary. I haven't seen it.
They invited him back for the 50th?
Yes, they invited him back for the 50th.
You don't understand how big of a star he is.
He's a big deal.
Really?
Joe is a massive star.
He's getting
right now.
a Netflix thing. I heard Katie talking about.
Yeah, Tyler Perry.
It's like about firefighters.
Yes.
So he's also getting that.
He is a massive star right now.
That's
wow.
Cool.
Massive. Like he was the absolute icon of his season when he went on. Like he was the heartthrob, not in the sense of attractiveness, but everybody loved him because he's a fireman. He's a great dude.
Everyone loves firemen.
That too, but it's not just that part of it. He's a phenomenal guy.
Yeah.
I've gotten to know Joe or meet Joe a couple of times, and he's unbelievably kind.
That's cool.
And the relationship that he built with, I don't know her name because I don't remember the season, but one of the ladies on there, and how he helped her through her circumstances and stuff. You'll see it all the time. Like, he is a massive reality star now.
That's crazy.
And for the right reasons, not the House of Villains type reality stars that are just like, ah, ha, 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 ha.
So he's going to be on Traitors?
I don't know if he'd be good on trade. Well, I don't know. Joe might be a really good trader.
He might be a good trader.
Because he's super nice.
Mm-hmm.
They put a lot of Survivor people on the show.
They do, but they put a lot of Survivor, like the gamers, the masterminds on that show, because they want that element of it.
So there's different layers to Survivor. I've never watched Survivor before.
Yes. So there's Survivor. Like, someone did. Actually, there's a Survivor winner, and we'll get into the show in a second. Sorry. There's a Survivor winner named Cochran. And Cochran was famous for, he wrote basically like his entire college thesis on the game of Survivor and like the inner workings of Survivor and stuff. And there's, I think producers have talked about, like, there's 4 categories of, or it's either 3 or 4 categories of like reality game show players. There's the storytellers. Those are the guys that are going to, it's a group of people that are there to help move the story along. They're really good in the narrations, and they're like kind of interesting, most relatable people. There's the challenge beasts, right? These are the women and men that are super physically gifted or just incredibly talented, just challenge beasts, right? There's the brains, like the super smart gamers, cerebral players, the backstabbers, but the ones that are thinking 10, 11, 12 moves ahead, right? The chess masters, the lawyers, these type people. And then there's the drama kings and drama queens, the ones that are there to spice things up and that are just there to, like, I have no chance of winning. I am chaos. And those people are fun. Yeah. I think those are like the 4 categories of Survivor/reality show game players.
So which one does Joe fit into?
I think Joe was very much the storyteller plus / challenge beast. I
would put him in the like, he's like a guy that's strength wise would fit into that category.
But
right?
Joe, I think so.
But people fell in love with him on the show because of his emotional.
Because of who he is.
Yes.
Because he's a good dude. He's just a really good dude, and he was very much a hero of his season. Yeah. He was like just a great guy. And that came across in how he was portrayed.
So much so they invited him back for the 50th season.
Because it was the most recent season. I might be getting this wrong, but I believe his season was before the 50th season, so he was like one of the most recent stars. So, hey, capitalize on that. Bring him back.
He said he stayed there to film.
Yeah.
Like, back to back.
So bring him back. Mm-hmm. And then bring in other people from the history too. But he was one of the most recent stars. Yeah. So, but his season is phenomenal. Love Survivor. We should play the card game. Anyway, welcome into the Matt and Kayla Show. I'm Matt George. That's Kayla Anderson. Kyle Ledbetter on the other side of the glass. We would love to play that Survivor
Do
card
the Kings survive not falling out?
Bum, bum, bum.
Real segue, Kayla.
We shall see. I do not know how to feel about last night's win. Before I get into that, coming up at 11 o'clock today, I want to make sure I push this because this is big. Nick Wagner, ESPN San Francisco 49ers reporter, will join us. He was at the... Yes.
Fresh up. He literally texted me because I had to remind him this morning. He goes, thank you so much, Kayla, for reminding me. He goes, I don't even know what day it is. It has been a whirlwind at the NFL meeting.
So he's freshly back now from the NFL meeting. So and there's of course a ton that came out of those meetings. We've been talking about it every single day this week. So Nick is going to join us, and he'll be able to provide full context of everything that he saw, he heard, he talked about from the NFL owners meetings. That's coming up at 11 o'clock. So Niners fans and football fans in general, you want to tap in for that. But of course, we're going to talk a lot of Kings today because Kayla. Let's start with the good. Let's not start on a negative foot.
Yeah.
Genuinely, last night's game was incredibly entertaining. Mm-hmm. It was a really, really good basketball game.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Like I thought the fight from the Sacramento Kings was fantastic. They had only 9 guys available, right? Russell Westbrook out again, but DeMar DeRozan and Malik Monk played after not playing on Sunday in their loss to the Brooklyn Nets. And the Kings had a really strong first quarter. The Raptors went on a big run in that second quarter. It's like, here it comes. The Kings fought back to basically break even in that quarter. I think they both teams scored 34 points in the second quarter. So the Kings take a comfortable, I'd say, lead into halftime. Raptors make another push in the fourth quarter, get to within 2-3 points. Kings fight back, push back, ultimately win this game. In so many ways, that was a really good, really encouraging performance. A great way to end the final long road trip of the season. A great way to boost morale. I can promise you that team plane, if they weren't all sleeping, that team plane was very jovial on the flight back to Sacramento last night.
Yeah.
So from that context alone, just the basketball standpoint, really good, really fun, really entertaining, promising basketball game from the Sacramento Kings last night.
Yeah, I mean, they were on a 4-game skid. Clearly wanted to, probably from a player's standpoint, wanted to break that up before they come home to face the Pelicans tomorrow night at the Golden One Center, which, by the way, me and my brother and nephews and sister-in-law are going to, so I'm excited about that. And I think, like, when you see a game like that where it's a pretty decent Toronto Raptors team, like, look, they're not probably winning the championship this year, but they're going to be a playoff team, I believe, or at least a play-in team. Mm-hmm. And you have, though, two guys that have played there. One in DeMar DeRozan, who's a legend. Yeah. Clearly is going to be known for his time in Toronto.
Yes.
And is beloved there.
Yes.
You also have a guy that has been going to every team he played for this year, even if it was in a short capacity of time, in Precious Achiuwa, that is literally balled out for every single team he's played for this year.
Against, yeah.
It's freaking crazy.
Yeah.
And you had those two guys in particular who did their thing and probably are a big reason why they won that game. But at the same time, you had just like a feistiness with Malik Monk involved in the game and like an energy about the team that you just had this feeling that they weren't going to give up this game. Even when the lead in terms of Toronto went out in front because of the runs that they were going on, they just seemed to be answering back. And by the way, Toronto's a very physical team. Like, this is not, like, they play hard. And so that was the task at hand that I'll give credit to Doug Christie with, you know, whatever preparing-wise he did his team in for last night. It worked. I mean, these guys were prepared to meet that physicality, to meet that energy. So in that way, it was extremely fun to watch. And I always root for a guy like DeMar DeRozan. I've made that clear on this show. I love DeMar DeRozan. I am rooting for Precious Achiuwa. I love every time he goes and whoops up on former teams to prove a point this year. So in that way, it was really fun to watch.
Precious Achiuwa was dominant.
He really was.
I mean, he had 28 points, 19 rebounds, 11 of them offensive.
I know.
He out-rebounded every big the Toronto Raptors had, and it wasn't close. He absolutely bodied Jakob Poeltl. Like, it was not close. Like, Precious was phenomenal. And a big part of the story of this game is, at halftime, Precious has 18 points and 15 rebounds, 9 of them offensive. So Precious was the guy for the Kings in the first half. Nobody else had scored double digits. The next closest was Malik Monk with 9.
Sure.
And you're right, Malik was very feisty. Malik was fired up last night. I thought Malik was going to get a tech at some point
too.
because, man, he was going at the referees.
He was talking.
And the mics were picking up everything that man had to say. And I love Malik Monk for it, man.
DeMar didn't have, like, but 2 points, did he? Or something?
That's the other part of the story. DeMar DeRozan, 2 points, 0 of 8 from the field in almost 16 minutes of the first half. You're thinking, oh, it's not the homecoming for DeMar that we expected. DeMar finishes the game tied with Precious Achiuwa, leading the Kings in scoring with 28 points.
Sheesh.
In just the second half, DeMar scored 26, was 7 of 10 from the field, 2 of 3 from three-point range, a perfect 10 of 10 from the free throw line in 19 minutes. In the fourth quarter, DeMar DeRozan, 14 points, 4 of 6 from the field, 1 of 1 from three-point range, 5 of 5 from the foul line. He also had 14 points in, 12 points on 3 of 4 shooting, 5 of 5 from the free throw line in the third quarter. So this is where we get into the territory of I don't know how to feel, because I respect the hell out of DeMar DeRozan for that performance. I respect the hell for DeMar, not just going against his former team. When DeMar DeRozan goes into the Basketball Hall of Fame, he's going in as a Raptor. DeMar DeRozan is one of the most famous, beloved Raptors of all time. By the way, he passed Dominique Wilkins last night, 17th all-time in scoring now in total points. He's the most beloved Raptor of all, or one of them, of all time. Now, there is always the caveat of they had to trade him away to win a title. And I'm sure he's dealt with that in his own way. But from what I understand from California, from Sacramento, that hasn't changed how Toronto feels about him. Toronto, they love him there. Maybe Drake doesn't because of a certain beef with Kendrick. But regardless, they love DeMar over there or up there in Toronto. He goes against his former team, who are in a playoff hunt. Y'all have to understand how costly that loss was for Toronto last night. Because of that loss, they dropped into the play-in.
Yep.
They dropped from 6 to 7. That's massive for them.
So they were trying to clearly win this game.
Very much so. This is one of their easier games that they have left against a Kings team that's bottom of the league.
You see that on the schedule, okay, we're okay, good, check mark.
DeMar's playing terrible. He comes alive in the second half, puts on an absolute clinic, hits big shot after big shot in the fourth quarter, wins that game for the Sacramento Kings, and does it in front of a crowd that I'm sure they were groaning that they lost, but also there's DeMar.
Yeah.
We know that man. We've seen that many times before. I respect the hell out of that. I respect the hell out of how the Kings played last night. I respect the win. I respect the hustle from Doug Christie, that coaching staff, all those players. I know what they're about, so I'm not surprised or even bothered by that part. What I'm bothered by, truthfully, is if, with 5 games remaining, depending upon how those 5 games go, and when we get to draft lottery day, if the ping pong balls on Mother's Day don't bounce in the Kings' favor, that is one of those games. A great game, a great performance. One of DeMar DeRozan's best games as a King, period, in the short time that he's been here. That is a game that is going to be looked at very negatively. And that one's going to be circled and pointed out. Why? Because it was right after the loss to Brooklyn, where many people were like, yeah, there you go. You're finally doing what, in theory, you're supposed to do. But we speculated. I don't think DeMar's going to sit the rest of the season. I think that he's sitting because that's the second night of a back-to-back. And lo and behold, he plays. He balls out. Kings get the win. And we're going to talk about this later on in the show. It's not so much because they got a gift from the Indiana Pacers last night. The Pacers beat the Chicago Bulls. It's not so much that they didn't take the advantage to move up. It's now the Utah Jazz are biting at their heels. And again, we're going to talk about this later in the show. Falling to 5, I think, would be pretty catastrophic for this team given the circumstance of where they were at just Sunday with that loss to Brooklyn.
Look, I can't let myself get on that level right now.
I understand.
Because I'm going to be the mom in the room, or the responsible big sister, or whatever you want to call me.
Responsible?
I was responsible. I was responsible as a big sister. I like to teach. Teach good things that I learned that I couldn't, didn't want my younger brother to do.
And here's how you get over a barbed wire fence.
Exactly.
When you're running from the cops, here's where you go.
Just don't do it. But in all seriousness, we have to do this every game because whether they're winning or losing, or they're back towards maybe, getting that second overall pick or whatever, or they're back in the 3 spot to get a 14% chance. We've been going back and forth every game because they've either lost or they've now won.
Yeah.
And now we're back in that camp of, oh, shoot, this could hurt them again.
Sure.
I have a feeling that it's going to work out the way it's supposed to work out. I know that's not what people want to hear. But we're driving ourselves crazy down the stretch here.
Sure.
With okay, now they're back in that they possibly could fight at the 5 spot. I just feel like we got to let it play out.
Sure.
I do understand there's no more back-to-backs. So there is a chance that, unfortunately, for people who want to tank and DeMar is available.
I think you're going to play.
He's probably going to play down the stretch
I think
because,
so.
Again, there's no back-to-backs. I don't think Russell Westbrook is playing, But DeMar just seems to give this team, added with Precious in that mix too, a chance when they're out there to win games. Unfortunately, that's not what the tanking crowd wants to hear.
Sure.
But Doug Christie has stayed true to his word that they are trying to win games this season.
1,000%.
And that's what I think they're going to continue to do. I don't think that it's going to ultimately hurt them down the stretch. I think that they're probably either going to lose out or they might pick up another win. But usually when they go on these bad streaks and they win a game, maybe they win 2, but I don't feel like they're going to pick any more up, like momentum-wise, with wins this season. I think they might win 1 more.
I think if they win 1 more, the Jazz are catching them. And we'll dive into in the next segment.
What's the Jazz losing streak?
We'll jump into the next segment, what the Jazz are at and what their schedule is versus what the Kings is. If the Kings win 1 more game, the Jazz are catching them. And if the Jazz catch them, we'll dive into all the numbers next. I hear what you're saying 100%. I think that's a very reasonable approach that, hey, things are going to work out the way that they work out. I don't blame any portion of this fan base that is like, I am not relying on blind faith with this organization right now.
But what is it helping? Like, worry about it every game.
Sure, worrying about it.
What is that helping?
Worrying about it does not help anything, right? You're 1,000% right in that case. But just having blind faith that it's going to work out when mathematically losing games is more beneficial for the team. Sure. I just understand fans that fall along that side. And that's the way I'm leaning. I don't have any issue whatsoever, and we've talked about this before, and we had to break, I know. I don't have any issue with Doug. I don't have any issue with DeMar. I don't have any issue with Malik, Precious, none of them. I know exactly what they're going to do on a nightly basis, and if they do it, great. I can watch that game, and I enjoyed the hell out of watching that game, and also go, that could be really, really bad. And now, because of the Utah Jazz, there is a new, I think, worst-case scenario that I thought we had closed the door to with the win or with the loss in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
That now is wide open. It's not so much for me right now anymore about, hey, can the Kings move up from 4 to 3?
Right.
I've
just don't want them to drop.
I've pretty much accepted that they're going to be 4 and hope that maybe they can move up because Indiana or Washington or Brooklyn or somebody would make a mistake. I would hope. That was what I was hoping for. But I had accepted 4. 5, there's a big difference with that. And we'll talk about what that is and more still to come in today's show. Lots to get to. It's Matt and Kayla on a Thursday. Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 5:30 with tip-off at 7. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
Spring is here, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings, plus get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to power your progress, so you can give everything you've got, all for just 1 cent down. Whether you want to get the most out of our best-in-class equipment or go all in with free fitness training, our trainers are ready to help you get stronger than ever before. Take your workout to the next level at Planet Fitness. Join the club today for 1 cent down, $15 a month. No commitment. Deal ends Friday, April 10th. You ready? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Buying golf gear is easy. Buying the right golf gear? Well, that's different. At Hagen Oaks, they don't just sell equipment, they fit your entire game. With TrackMan technology in the Player Performance Studio, your clubs are matched to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Fitting helps you find the golf ball that performs best for you. Hagen Oaks Putter Fitting Studio dials in your stroke. And FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds correct shoe size for your feet. It's a smarter way to play better golf. Total Game Fitting at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80.
There are many reasons to choose Gonzalez Law Offices. As a dedicated trial lawyer with an undefeated record from 2016 through 2019, and you'll know that no case is too big or too small. Due to his success, hard work, and commitment to excellence, attorney Jonathan Gonzalez has been listed in Super Lawyer's Rising Stars, as well as in the top 40 under 40 list by national trial lawyers. You can find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call him at 916-304-9187.
To infinity and the ballpark. Join the Sacramento Rivercats for Toy Story Night on Saturday, April 11th, and then bring your best furry friend to Bark in the Park on Sunday, April 12th at Sutter Health Park. Get your tickets at rivercats.com.
Today is National Burrito Day, and to celebrate, Jim Boy's is selling a snack-sized Parmesan-crusted burrito called a Snackerito in 3 delicious flavors for just $4.95. Go by and visit your local Jim Boy's and enjoy today.
That very positive, very fun game is going to be picked apart and become a negative, which I don't think it's fair for that game to become a negative.
I hope we don't have to get to that point.
Exactly. Because like there's going to be that point where, depending upon how lottery odds and the lottery goes, then people are going to start combing over the schedule because it'll be the offseason. What else are we going to do?
Exactly.
And go, ooh, that win was really bad. Oh, that win was really bad. Ooh, like and last night's win is definitely going to make that cut. Definitely going to make that category because it came right after the Nets loss. That's really the only reason why.
Do you think here's my other question, because again, we've talked about how weird the shuffle can be besides AJ DeBonza going number 1 overall, which we think that could be very well the case.
Sounds like
but
it.
Besides that, I feel like it's like put your little iPod shuffle on. Remember those iPod shuffles? And what player are you gonna get?
Mm-hmm.
So I am curious. Like, let's say that the Kings did fall to the 5 spot, and it's not out of the realm of possibility that you still could get like a Cam Boozer or something.
Sure.
It's so wild right now with what teams are actually going to look to get.
100%.
Right?
It's
So I guess that's the silver line, perhaps.
Yeah, and we'll talk about this at noon, because I think a justification for some people, and maybe even Scott Perry, is, well, we feel we're going to get a great talent no matter what. Mm-hmm. And if that's your justification, I don't subscribe to it at all. I think that's incredibly short-sighted, because it's not just that you want to get a good talent. We know the Kings need more than just a good talent. The Kings need to come out of this draft with one of the best players in the draft, which is a lot of pressure, but that's the reality of the situation. But it's not just that part, too. When the draft is potentially going to be as chaotic as you just laid it out, like Cam Boozer could go 2, he could go 5. Yeah. We have no freaking clue. In fact, in the 12 o'clock hour, ESPN put out an article where they spoke to different scouts and executives about their thoughts on these different picks, and it's all over the board. Like, that's the thing. That's what's great. But also, if you have a higher pick, you have more control over that chaos.
Yeah.
Right? Versus if I'm sitting at 5, I now have to I have to have a billion scenarios on my board about what if they go this guy? What if they go this guy? What if he's not there? What if he's not there? And you just don't have any control.
Yeah, your draft board looks much different.
And I would much rather the Kings have control than not, right? But in theory, yes, it's a very deep draft, and the King, like, Darren Peterson might fall.
Yeah, you're not wrong on that.
And while Darren Peterson does spook me from a Sacramento Kings standpoint, let's say the Kings end up with a 5th pick. Taking Darren Peterson number 1 overall and taking Darren Peterson number 5 overall, very different things. Mm-hmm. Because if Darren Peterson doesn't work out in Sacramento at number 5, yeah, we're frustrated. Like, damn it. But if he didn't work out at number 1
Then
and
it's
AJ
like,
was
oh
there,
my
you're like,
goodness.
fire Scott now.
Sure. Because
Right?
the value of that pick is just so incredibly
It's just
high.
that's all narratives and circumstances.
Now you'll be
right?
remembered for the rest of time as the guy who picked blah, blah, blah over blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. So, but do you want that power? The Kings need that power, which is why draft lottery odds are so important. Here is where the draft lottery odds stand at the moment. And Javier, I see you on hold. We'll get you in just a second. The Pacers last night dropped 145 points. What was Tyrese Halliburton playing? What the hell?
goodness.
That's classic Pacers.
Who
That's
led
last
the way
year's
for
Pacers.
the Pacers last night?
That's a good question.
My guy Ray J. Dennis, I don't even know if he plays.
145 points.
They went crazy.
They had 4 players score over 20 points.
They beat the brakes off of Chicago. So the Bulls tried to do us a favor. The Sacramento Kings East tried to do us a favor last night, and the Kings didn't take advantage
Looks
of
like Ethan Thompson had 24.
Goodness gracious.
In reality, it doesn't kill the Pacers too bad. They're still in the top 3. They're now tied with the Brooklyn Nets, technically in that second spot. And they're both them and the Nets are a game and a half ahead of the Sacramento Kings in the Tankathon standings. So it just makes... it widens the gap a little bit between the Kings and those teams. Now, they're not out of reach. Remember, the Nets still have to play both the Pacers and the Wizards. Somebody's got to win those games. Somebody's got to lose those games. If the Nets, in theory, beat both the Pacers and the Wizards, and the Kings lose out, Kings catch them. So it's still possible. It's still very possible.
That's what I was saying. It is very possible still.
But the scary part is that the Utah Jazz have lost 7 straight games. They're 1-9 over the last 10 games, while the Sacramento Kings are 4-6. Check this out right here. So here are the bottom teams. Over the last 10 games, Washington 1-9, Brooklyn 1-9, Pacers 3-7 all of a sudden, Utah 1-9, Dallas 2-8, Memphis 2-8, Chicago 2-8, Milwaukee 3-7, the Kings 4-6. Like the Kings have one of the best records out of the worst teams over the last 10 games, and it's costing them at this point in time. But it feels like genuinely the Kings don't care about that as much. They value those wins. Okay, we'll see if that pays off. But the Utah Jazz are now 1 game back of Sacramento.
You like jazz?
I don't right now.
I don't like. And Utah's getting all the pro teams now. I'm done with them. Done with the state.
I feel like Kayla today.
I'm glad somebody's backing me up for once.
What? I've always had your back.
That's debatable.
I've always had your back, especially against Alan Stiles.
Now that you do. That you do. That you absolutely.
Because that was from your bit with Alan, right?
That was from a while ago.
Yeah, that was the Alan.
No, that was the expansion in Salt Lake City.
But the Utah versus Sacramento versus Nashville conversation.
Correct, because I said we deserve a hockey team, not Utah, or a baseball team. Not Utah.
Well, not hockey too. I mean, the Yeti are not very good, or whatever they're called.
Yeah, the Mammoth.
Oh, they're the Mammoth.
But the Jazz, though, to your point, Matt.
Yeah, they're right there.
They're right there, and their schedule is kind of difficult. I say there's 2 in there that they could win.
They have the 8th hardest schedule in the league. At Houston, at OKC, at New Orleans, they could win that game. Versus Memphis, they could definitely win that game.
2.
At LA Lakers. So you're right. There's probably 2 games in there that they have a good chance of winning.
Sure.
But they don't want to win.
And
they're not
been
trying.
bad at they've been blatant at tape.
Yeah, oh yeah. And that's the thing. That's what would kill Kings fans in so many ways. It's not just, okay, if the draft lottery odds, if the Kings have better lottery odds than the Jazz and the Jazz jump up, nothing you can do. It sucks. It's frustrating. Nothing you can do. If the Kings allow the Jazz to catch them or pass them and get better lottery odds and have a better draft pick and add that to a core of Keontae George and Lowry Markkanen and, Jaren Jackson Jr., who they just got, Kings fans are going to be furious because that team's a playoff team next year with AJ or Darren or Cam or whoever the hell they want.
You're right.
They're a playoff team next year.
Dude, they could become like new Oklahoma City.
They are better than you now, more talented than you now, and they out-tanked you at a time where the board was perfectly set for you to tank. They out-tanked you, and even if they got fined and got slapped on the wrist and Adam Silver was mad at them, it worked out for them great. Versus the Kings, who tried to do it ethically.
I think they should get punished if that's what happens. I think Adam Silver should lay down the law to Utah.
Well, they're going to make changes this summer, but the Jazz might benefit before they make the changes. Right?
So the punishment should be just give the Kings the first pick. And Utah's not allowed to have it.
I subscribe to that. Adam Silver, make it happen.
There we go.
Make it happen.
Or-
We did it ethically.
Bring Utah to Nashville.
We did it ethically by having all our players get surgery.
Listen, they needed it.
They did.
We did not stage DeAndre Hunter getting his eyeball almost gouged out.
DeMar's still playing.
Yeah, DeMar's still playing.
We are the universal healthcare franchise, so we should be rewarded as such.
But it's not just if the Jazz pass the Kings, guys. If the Jazz catch the Kings and they both finish with the fourth worst record, both teams would then have an 11.5% chance at the number 1 pick and a 45.1% chance at a top 4 pick. Those odds are spooky. They're not nearly as bad as if the Kings fall from 4 to 5 outright. And that we'll talk about in detail coming up at noon. But that is the state of where the Sacramento Kings are at in terms of the Tankathon draft lottery standings. It's spooky.
Are we doing a little Tankathon?
Shall we?
Yeah.
Should we do one? All right. Why don't we do one? So
as
of right now, the Kings still in the 4th spot. Sim in the lottery and okay.
Are they still 4th?
Washington wins the lottery. Brooklyn stays at number 2. Memphis jumps up 5 spots to number 3. The Pacers keep their pick at number 4. The Sacramento Kings drop 1 spot to number 5. The Utah Jazz drop 1 spot also to number 6. So the Kings would have the 5th pick in this scenario. It's not
ideal.
Horrible, not ideal.
Yeah.
As long as just avoid 6. Like, to me, 6 and below is doomsday for the Kings. Top 5, I feel good. I feel you're going to get somebody. You're going to get somebody really good in top 5, in my opinion. Top 4 would be even better, of course.
But if the Kings and Jazz end up finishing with the same record, dreaded coin toss. We're going back to the coin toss.
The coin flips have funny enough, the Kings have lost, and it's worked out better for them. When the Kings lose the coin flip, they end up moving up.
There's a coin flip history, huh?
Oh, yeah. When the Kings moved up to number 2, don't worry about what they did with that pick, but when the Kings moved up to number 2,
we know.
They lost the coin toss to the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls had the 8th best odds. The Kings had the 9th best, or was it 7 or 8, something along that lines. And the Bulls moved down a spot. The Kings jumped all the way up to 2.
Sounds like the Bulls just have awful luck with these coin tosses. Because
the Bulls.
So maybe the Kings get caught by the Jazz, lose the coin flip, they get the number 1 pick.
And now we figured it out.
Boom.
Now we figured it out.
That's what it is right there.
Kyle, do I have time really quick to get Javier? All right, Javier, come on to the show. What up, Javier? How are you?
Come on down.
How you guys doing today?
Good.
Well, glad I know I have about 30 seconds now for the time I have
Hey,
allocated.
Cook, man, we'll make it up. Don't worry. Let it go.
In 2018, the Kings finished the 7th worst record overall in the NBA, and the likelihood of a 4 through 10 seeding in the NBA draft positioning for your overall bottom portion of your NBA standings to get a top 4, top 5, top 3 pick were way less than, and the top 3 to 4 were way higher in regards to your overall percentages to get the top 3, top 4 selection. Nobody in Sacramento, anywhere, period, that was a Kings fan was screaming, no, we cannot win these games. And what did the Kings do? They went and jumped from 7 to 2. And now that the NBA draft lottery odds have flattened, it's way less likely compared to when you were in 2019, if you're a mid-tier team, to get into the top 3 or top 4. So where was all the uproar then when they jumped from 7 to 2?
Well, Javier, I do remember, sorry to cut you off, my friend, because we're up against it. I do remember Kings fans not being happy with them winning games at the end there because they fell into the coin flip scenario with Chicago. Kings fans weren't happy about that. It wasn't the entire fan base screaming about it, and it's certainly not as polarizing as where the Kings are at now. But
is it because other teams are tanking so poorly and making it
it's more blatant,
look easy for them?
Yes,
to do?
It's more blatant because a lot of teams are doing it around the league for sure. But yes, Kings fans at the time were upset about that. I do understand that the Kings got lucky in that draft, but to me, just blind luck and hoping to get stupid lucky is not an argument over increasing your odds. Play the math game. If it works out for you, great. If it doesn't, whatever. That's at least the element that you can control. Pool Guy Mark, I see you on hold. We'll get you right when we come back, and then we'll jump into our MLB mini seasons. Kayla, we suck.
Oh, man, I stink.
No, we both do. We're both in bed.
We
should just give the trophy to Kyle now already. That's how this mini season is going, at least this week. It's Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 5:30 with tip-off at 7. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Gold demand is skyrocketing to record highs. As more Americans rush to preserve their savings, will there be enough gold? I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your 401k or IRA savings. Gold offers tangible security that can't be tracked, stolen, or inflated. That's why I strongly advocate for gold IRAs. To learn more, text the word SECURE to 989898 now. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust, and their thousands of great reviews prove I'm not alone. So don't wait another second. Protect your retirement savings today and see how easy it is to move your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals. Text SECURE to the number 989898 for your free gold IRA info kit. Again, SECURE to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply. Business moves fast, and so do we. At Bank of Marin, we team up with businesses in the greater Sacramento area to help you drive the lane and score big. With dedicated relationship bankers and local decision making, we help you move quickly, whether you're upgrading equipment, buying your next building, streamlining cash flow, or fueling growth. From expansion to investment, we're ready to help you win. Bank of Marin, your local business bank. Visit us at bankofmarin.com. Member FDIC.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown, 411 16th Street, and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sacramento. Now you've got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
The next 30 seconds could save you hundreds on your car insurance. At The Hartford, we're passionate about your protection. If you're 50 or over, AARP Auto Insurance from The Hartford gives you benefits that really matter. And you could save $597 when you switch. How's that for a little peace of mind? Visit trusthartford.com today. The Hartford, your protection is our passion. The Hartford Insurance Group, Inc. pays royalty fees to AARP for the use of its intellectual property. AARP and its affiliates are not insurers. Savings vary.
Spring is in the air, and Alev's long-lasting pain relief is here to keep you moving. The days are longer and the flowers are blooming. Whether it's gardening, yard work, or just spending more time outdoors, spring is a way of getting us moving despite any body pain. That's where Aleve can keep you going. With just one dose, Aleve gives you long-lasting body pain relief for up to 12 hours. From sunup to sundown, Aleve's got your back. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Before we get to our mini seasons, and yes, I'm going to stall as long as possible because for Kayla and I, this week ain't going great.
Very dark.
Not going good for your defending champion. It might be a very quick one and done. I'll just tell you that right now. Before we get to that, though, pool guy Mark, kind enough to hold on. He, I'm sure, wants to jump in on this Kings lottery odds versus great win in Toronto last night conversation. What up, pool guy Mark?
Hey, how's it going? It's a confusing, like I couldn't sleep that good last night. And it's just kind of frustrating to see, you know what I mean? It sucks when your team starts getting in your head, right?
Yeah.
And I guess that's just the Kings, the problem with me with the Kings. It's like I just don't understand them. It's a nice win. I don't have a problem with, those players playing their hearts out and winning like that. I just wish that like Precious. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be on the team next year. Like you went and got Hunter, right? And so can you afford him? And DeMar, I mean, we're trying to get off that, right? So, I mean, maybe you have another year where you're stuck with him. And like, I just kind of fast forward, like a year from now where the people that are winning these games are no longer a part of your future, and a coach is now on the hot seat. And we did all this for people who are like not a part of our future, and then we've kind of shot ourselves in the foot because maybe we get the 7th or 8th pick, maybe we get Wagler, maybe all this works out for us. It's just like you said, man, it's really tough when an organization just goes completely against the grain and wants the fan base to trust them where they have shown us, just dysfunctionality.
Pool Guy Mark, we appreciate you so much, man. What I love about that call from Pool Guy Mark, even though it's generally negative,
I was going to say, what is positive about that?
No, what I love about that is you can hear in Mark the same conflict that I feel internally, and I think a lot of Kings fans feel. Last night's game was fun. It was a really impressive win for the Kings. Last night's game does wonders for Doug Christie's argument. If Doug Christie is fighting for his job during the offseason, I'm pulling up last night's game and going, look at this ish. Look what we did in Toronto to wrap up the final road trip of the year. Mm-hmm. Look how I kept these guys together, right? Like, there was so much about last night's game that was great. But the internal conflict is it worth it if things don't go the right way for all the reasons the Pool Guy Mark laid out there? Like, DeMar DeRozan's not really part of the future. Precious Achiuwa is a really good conversation that we're going to have coming up at 1 o'clock because I said this last night. Precious Achiuwa is rapidly climbing up that offseason wish list of like bringing him back. It's high up there in terms of priority, but financially, how do the Kings do it? We'll take a look at the contracts that they have that they could in theory move in order to free up money to get Precious Achiuwa. But other teams, I think, are going to be in the mix for Precious because of how great of a season that he's having.
But we've heard from Precious too.
Yeah, he wants to stay in Sacramento.
So, Pool Guy Mark, don't lose more sleep about things right now you can't control. It's not a foregone conclusion either that guys like Precious Achiuwa won't be back. We don't know that yet. Mm-hmm. So control the things you can control right now.
We'll talk through the Precious Achiuwa situation at 1.
Pool Guy Mike.
Yeah, get some sleep in general. Get some sleep, man. Get some sleep in general. We all need it. We all need it right now. And I think I just need to
I just called him Pool Guy Mike, by the way.
Pool Guy Mike, Pool Guy Mark.
Excuse me,
we know what you meant. He knew what you
meant.
Our
pool guy,
I've obviously lost sleep too.
Well, we
but not
both
because of the Kings.
We both just need this week to end in terms of our mini seasons because
I'm
this trophy right now. I'm holding this trophy, and this trophy's sitting in front of me, but it could not feel further out of reach because our mini season this week is going disastrous.
You mean mine's the worst out of everybody?
No, we're in the same boat.
Bro.
You and I are sitting here in 0-3 land. We are 0-for so far.
At least you're winning the point differerential, Kayla.
Kayla is, I think I'm in last place this week by a pretty significant margin. So yesterday I picked, well, let's start with Kayla. Kayla, you picked Tariq Skubal and the Detroit Tigers to beat the Diamondbacks.
Skubal-dooble-doo.
Yeah.
Skubal gave up a home run to Corbin Carroll, one of the stars of the Diamondbacks, in the first inning.
Sure. And that's all that happened.
There was not a single run for the rest of the game.
Unfreaking real. So that's the way that I am going to lose yesterday's game.
The run differential, though.
Thanks a lot, Skubal.
The run differential.
I knew I didn't like you, Skubal.
Why are you getting mad at him?
I knew I didn't like you.
He gave up one run.
I didn't like you. I don't care.
Leave Scooby alone. Yell at Shaggy and Velma. They didn't get hits.
I don't like you, Skubal.
He did his job.
I didn't like you in the World Baseball Classic.
He did a good job.
He still gave up a run.
One run.
I don't care.
His bats did nothing.
I don't care.
Skubal's allowed one run all season, and I think the Tigers are 0-2 in his
Scooby had a great game. Kinda. He gave up a solo shot in the first inning, then locked in, and his bats decided to be made out of flubber. They couldn't do nothing.
Flubber.
Leave Scooby alone.
That's because Zach Gallen was out there pitching like a star.
Sure. Anyway, Kayla lost.
Really made me mad.
I can tell. Well,
so Kayla, you're now 1-5 on the season.
I made the mistake of rocking with your sorry Mariners.
Well.
And they got beat by the New York Yankees, unfortunately.
I know.
Who, of course, Kyle picked. And he got the 5-3 win.
So,
they scored runs.
And then yesterday in the 8th inning, when the Mariners had a chance to win,
Don't
you know
do this.
who came
Don't
through?
do this.
One-hit wonder, Cal Raleigh.
She's 0-3. Leave her alone.
No, Cal Raleigh got an RBI single in the 8th inning, and then Julio Rodriguez struck out with a chance to tie the game.
Bro, look. Just take it easy on me right now. It's a long season.
Cal Raleigh came through. He made me eat my words.
She's 0-3, and you're just rubbing salt in the wound.
And
over
1-5
there.
on the season.
Okay. Very unnecessary.
Oh, yeah.
Well-
have you ever done those like floats where they have the magnesium kind of salt? Those actually hurt. If you just shaved or something, you're not supposed to shave. If you do, it gets in like your skin and it feels like a salt in a wound.
Like a salt bath?
Yeah. And you like float. It's like a floater, like a big float, and you like float too.
No, I've never
They're
done
good for you. But
Huh.
they do hurt. You're not supposed to shave. So that just reminded me of, I've already been through that pain. That ain't nothing.
So that's worse than this, or this is worse than that? Being 0-3 is worse or better than that?
No, just like rubbing salt in a wound.
Oh, got you. I finally got there. My brain
okay.
was slow, but I got there. All right, so Kyle right now is 2-1 this week. Kayla and I are 0-3. Now, technically, if Kyle loses out, he'd be 2-3. If either of us win out, we can catch him. Although I think run differential wise, depending upon unless Kyle's team gets beaten up, I think run differential wise, I'm pretty much out of it. But I have a chance. Kayla, you're very much in it.
I know, but the problem is I have no teams playing today.
What? You didn't strategize?
No, it's not. I'm not at fault for this. We had to pick 5 teams.
Yeah.
So 2 of my teams are playing. I mean, you're not going to look that far out.
I mean, Matt and I had to do
We
that.
did.
What do you mean?
Kyle and I looked at because
Matt
Thursday.
had to pick the stupid Twins because he had no other team today.
Yeah, because today's the rough day. There's only 4 games today, and so but when Kyle and I were drafting, we did look at Thursday to make sure we had a team for today.
Wait,
but we can.
Do I have a team for today?
Who do you have? You have
the Brewers or the Padres.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
you do not have a team
So
today.
all my teams, I believe, play Friday.
And Saturday, yeah.
Saturday.
Okay, so we'll give you the Saturday game.
Yeah.
Then.
I mean, at the end of the day, does it really matter, Kayla? That 0-3.
Wow, that's
Yeah, it does, because I could have a comeback.
She gonna win on Saturday 10-0, and she's gonna catch you. Just watch. Okay,
Yeah.
so Kayla, you do not have a game today. We will bump your team to Saturday. Kyle and I do have games today.
Head to head, baby.
I have the. Oh, are we head to head again?
Oh yeah, Royals Twins.
All right, I take the Twins. Ugh. Come on, Byron Buxton, do it for me. And you got the Kansas City Royals. Bobby Witt Jr.
Dude, Kansas City's on a tear.
Yeah, they're playing phenomenal.
Oh, I can put you to bed right now. Give me the trophy tomorrow.
That's crazy. All right, well, Kayla, you get the day off. Enjoy the rest.
Do you not want me to just take one of these teams?
No.
Okay.
Because you think about, look forward to the schedule tomorrow because you still have the Brewers and Padres remaining. So pick which one. I don't know who they play tomorrow because they'll be starting their weekend series. So, your game will be on Saturday. That's
See, Kayla, this is how the rules work, of course. Very easy to understand. You just don't pick today because you didn't plan that far.
Well, I'm being nice. I'm being nice.
Yeah, but there was barely any teams, so we
Exactly.
could be in a little bit of trouble because we can't pick back-to-back teams in back-to-back weeks.
Exactly.
That's why there's so many rules to this game.
There are.
Exactly.
It'll work out as long as we're all playing fair amount of games that week.
Come on, it's not that hard. The rules are in place so you don't pick the Dodgers, Yankees, and Mets every freaking week. Although the Mets did nothing for me.
Yep.
Stupid.
Well, they can't all be winners like the Marlins, baby. Fins up.
We'll talk
Dude,
about.
yeah,
We'll talk
and
about
pick a
Sandy.
side.
Yeah, we'll talk about Sandy for sure. So Kyle has the Royals over the Twins. I have the Twins over the Royals today. Kayla, you get the off day. Get
All
some
right,
rest.
I get some rest.
Relax,
It's a travel day, baby.
And plan for Friday.
Oh, and Cole Reagans
Saturday.
is pitching today. Oh, I got this.
He's 0-1 with a 9 ERA. Don't worry about it. We got him. Twins, we got this. The Royals are only undefeated at home. What's the worst that could happen?
Exactly.
Come on, Byron Buxton. Do it for me. All right. We got the Twins, which I'll put me versus the Royals. We will take the break. When we come back, our good friend from ESPN who covers the San Francisco 49ers, Nick Wagner, joins us. He's exhausted after these meetings, but we don't care. We're going to use him for content. He's nice enough to share his time with us. Nick Wagner joining us to talk Niners football. Coming up next here at Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 5:30 with tip-off at 7. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
A's fans, the 2026 season is coming fast, and single game tickets are on sale now. Be there for an exciting season packed with theme days, giveaways, and firework nights, including bobbleheads, jerseys, hats, and much more. And getting in is easier than ever. Tickets start at just $8 for select April and May games. From opening day to unforgettable summer nights, there's something for everyone at the ballpark. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/tickets and be part of the excitement this 2026 season.
Injured and you're considering an LA law firm looking to charge you 45% to 50% in attorney's fees? That's overcharging. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years, and I can tell you no matter how complicated your injury case, you should never be charged 45% or 50% in attorney's fees ever. Direct, experienced, unrelenting, and honest local representation matters. It's called home court advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries. So for the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Russell Peters, Relax World Tour.
I go, my parents are from India. She goes, oh, India. See, I knew India. Indian people, you have a big eyes and long eyelash like a cow. Wow, 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 wow.
Saturday, April 18th, 8 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley.
Wow, 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 wow. I didn't know what to do. I just tipped her and thank you, bye-bye, and I left.
For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Russell Peters, Relax World Tour.
Today is National Burrito Day, and to celebrate, Jim Boys is selling a snack-sized Parmesan-crusted burrito called a Snackerito in 3 delicious flavors for just $4.95. Go by and visit your local Jim Boys and enjoy today.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Looking forward to speaking with Nick Wagner of ESPN, covers the San Francisco 49ers excellently. Is that a word? Yeah.
Yeah, if it's not a word, we create words here on the Matt and Kayla Show. So if you look at us like, what are those weirdos doing? Well, that's part of our show.
Don't worry.
So don't judge us.
I'm an English major who can't spell and sometimes makes up words, so that piece of paper was worth it. Shout out all that money. No, shout out Jessup. Had a great time. We're waiting for Nick Wagner to join us right now, but he's been down in Arizona all week covering the NFL owner meetings, and we've been playing for you and reacting to different sound, different quotes from Jed York, Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, all week long, coming out of these meetings. I'm sure Nick Wagner was involved in all of these scrums. Hey, Nick, the last time we had you on, it was early on in the offseason or just getting into the offseason. I told you, hey, get some rest, have yourself a good offseason. We'll talk to you soon. And then I just ignored that, and Kayla and I ignored that. Now we're saying instead of getting rest, welcome back onto the show, fresh off of a trip to Arizona. So we appreciate you making the time, my friend. Hopefully you're getting some rest. How was the chaos/fun of the NFL owner meetings in Arizona?
Yeah, the NFL owners meetings are the opposite of rest. It's a lot of early mornings and late nights. So for those that aren't aware and haven't been there, it's you get up early and they have these coaches breakfasts on Monday and Tuesday. This year it was the NFC on Monday and the AFC on Tuesday, and then at night they have this big reception where everybody's mingling and drinking and eating and all that kind of stuff. It's great. It's excellent in terms of kind of building relationships and getting information, but it is definitely a sprint. So it is definitely nice also to be out of the 100-degree heat in Phoenix.
Well, from a content standpoint, Nick, for us over here, we're not boots on the ground hustling like you are, but we get to react to all the great stuff that you get us and all the great quotes. And the 49ers were, of course, one of the few teams that were getting headline after headline with everything that was being said and all the stuff that Jed York and Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch had to say. There's plenty of stuff that we're going to talk about over the course of this conversation. But was there a primary takeaway for you at all with the Niners specifically, or really in the NFL in general, from these owner meetings this week?
Yeah, to your point, Matt, there was so much. And part of that is because we haven't really talked to Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch all off season. Yeah. I mean, other than the end of season press conference they did, the only time they've talked is when John Lynch talked at the combine. And then it's been nothing other than Mike Evans talked to us after he signed. So you kind of get caught up on everything that has happened in that window. And as you guys know, a lot of stuff has happened. So there wasn't like a specific one takeaway that I walked away with, but I did think it was interesting, if nothing else, maybe beyond some of the headlines about whether it was Brandon Ayuk or Trent Williams or electrical substations or whatever, and we could get into all that stuff. But I did find it interesting. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, I felt like were a lot more relaxed this year as opposed to last year. And I think a lot of that stems from last year was such a massive roster reset. They didn't really know what they had. And you fast forward a year and you look at what they did in free agency and you look at the fact that they added a lot of veterans. Like, this is a team that is ready to kind of stop on the gas and try to compete for a Super Bowl again this year. And I think they're kind of energized by that. They were energized by going 12-5 in what was supposed to be a reset year. And I think a lot of that momentum has kind of carried into this offseason.
Nick Wagner, a good friend, ESPN NFL reporter for the 49ers. Go and check his coverage out. It is absolutely the best, at Nick Wagner on X. Nick, when it comes to John Lynch, you had mentioned some of the big topics. And I know when John Lynch spoke this week about the communication that he has had with offensive tackle Trent Williams, the word that you used to describe what that was right now, it's intensified this past week. What do you take from that?
Yeah, I think it's very notable in the sense that we've been through a lot of these now, even just with Trent Williams, let alone all the other players that have had kind of extended contract impasses or negotiations. But John Lynch is not one for incremental updates during these situations. Like, he'll usually just kind of give you, oh, we still feel optimistic, and that's kind of it. But he said, I think the exact phrase, maybe I should paraphrase because I can't get the exact, but close. We're on the precipice of something good happening, which is an indication that, like, they're pretty close. And he feels really good about something specific that happened over the past week. My understanding is the goal is to have it done by the draft. Not that, you know, the Trent Williams situation necessarily is going to impact what they do in the draft. I think they just want to get that piece of business taken care of so that they can move on with their business elsewhere. And so I think that's the goal. That doesn't, I mean, it could happen. It could happen soon. It could happen before the end of this week. But I think the goal still is kind of looking toward the draft, having it done here by mid to late April.
Nick, I was a bit surprised that one of the topics of conversation amongst Jed, Kyle, and John was kind of each other and their working relationship. Jed York talked about, like, hey, Kyle, we don't want Kyle to go anywhere. Kyle was asked about doing more TV work, and he said he hated it, even though I thought he was brilliant at it. But from the Sacramento perspective here, kind of go on a side street here, the Sacramento Kings and their general manager, Scott Perry, one of the terms that he uses is a difference of opinion but unity of vision, right? And I think that sums up really well what that working relationship is like between Jed York, who we never hear from unless it's in circumstances like this, and John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. Why do you think that was a topic of conversation? Was their, I guess, working relationship / if any of those guys are heading anywhere? And can you comment at all on how well the three of them work together to run what's considered to be one of the best and most stable organizations in the NFL?
Yeah, man, I think to answer the first part of that, where does this kind of conversation stem from? I think it's the fact that we're about to hit the decade mark of the three of them working together. And so it's just kind of a natural point of, like, let's assess not only what they've accomplished, but where they're going and how much longer they want to keep doing it. And I wrote about this a few years ago, but, you know, if you go back, John Lynch, after he'd been hired with the 49ers, within a few years, after Amazon got the TV package for NFL games, they made a very, very strong, lucrative offer to get John Lynch to go back to TV. And I did a long interview with John Lynch. It was 5 years into his tenure, so like halfway through where we are now. And he told me, like, Yeah, I was interested. Like he gave it some thought because it was such a lucrative offer, but he feels like he has unfinished business, and that is getting that 6th Super Bowl to the 49ers. And he and Kyle Shanahan have a great working relationship. And I would always argue the most important relationship in any organization, particularly in football, is between the head coach and the general manager. We've seen so many teams where things have fallen apart because those two don't get along. Heck, I covered the Rams at the end of an era where that they probably should have had the greatest show on turf, probably should have been a 6 or 7 year type of dynasty. And it fell apart after 3 or 4 years because the GM and the coach didn't get along, right? So I think if you just look at where they are right now, they're still all on the same page. They all still seem to be, like I said, a little bit energized by last season because it could have gone a different way. And if it goes a different way, then you start thinking, like, does this start wearing on them coming up short after so many tries? But I think they're in a really good spot right now. And certainly, as Jed York kind of made it clear, they're welcome to stick around as long as they want. And he has put full trust in them to do the job and try to get over the hump.
ESPN NFL reporter for the 49ers, Nick Wagner, joining us on the Matt and Kayla Show. So we've talked about this a lot on our show recently. Just trying to get some help for Christian McCaffrey. Look, we know he's the workhorse. We know that Shanahan loves him and clearly uses him. But at some point, he's turning 30, right, in June. He's got to get a little bit of help in terms of the carries. What have they talked about at the owners' meetings this week when it comes to him particularly and maybe getting him some of the help? How does that look?
Yeah, so starting off, Kayla, like this is not a new subject with Kyle Shanahan. Like it gets talked about, but by his own admission, Kyle even laughed about it the other day. He said, "I think I said the same thing last year. We just didn't do it." And then he kind of chuckled, and that's been the case. It is just so hard to take Christian McCaffrey off the field. It's not that they don't want to spell him, but it's his gravity. You talk about it in basketball like Steph Curry. The things that Christian McCaffrey can do in the pass game where even if he's not getting the ball, it's opening things up for other people. And if you put a different running back in there and you're not giving him the ball, it's not the same. It just makes it a lot more difficult. And I think that's why it's been so hard for Kyle Shanahan to take him off the field. With that said, I do feel like this was the most emphatic and like believable Kyle Shanahan has been on this topic. And not that he didn't mean it before, but just that, like, I think he knows he's got to. And to your point, Kayla, if you go back and you look at the numbers, Christian McCaffrey had 2 times previously before last year had seasons where he had over 2,000 yards from scrimmage. In the 2 seasons that followed those 2 seasons, he played a combined 7 games. And if you go back through history at running backs who had 400-plus touches, and then what they did the following season, it's just not sustainable. And so you combine that with, like you said, him turning 30, they've got to find a way to just spell him a little bit more. I think the most likely scenario is that Jordan James, the second-year running back out of Oregon, if he can stay healthy, I think he's the guy they envision and hope can kind of handle that job. Last year, I think he had a chance to do that, but he got hurt in training camp, and then they traded for Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson is now with the Falcons. Obviously, he didn't even get that many carries as the number 2 last year, but I do think there's going to be at least a little bit more of a concerted effort, if nothing else, to keep Christian McCaffrey from having to go, 400-plus touches, which just seems pretty much impossible to do 2 years in a row.
Nick, dare I say, Kyle seemed like you use the word relaxed. He seemed jovial. He seemed almost goofy or silly a little bit.
Even admitted he aged.
He made a joke about he looks like the job aged him. He made a little side comment about the Rams wanted, or I believe I read this, the Rams wanted the game, the international game, because SoFi is always red when they go down there. He joked about, oh man, I love having 2 international games and traveling to the other side of the country. The NFL chooses it and we just react to it. Of course, he talked about his TV situation. What do we read into that? Do we read into he's very happy with how this offseason is going? He's relaxed after how the chaos of last season, and in reality, how well the Niners handled all of the chaos of the injuries of last season, even though they were eliminated by the Seahawks in the playoffs. What do you read into the nature of Kyle Shanahan and how he came off as in these meetings?
I think it's a little bit of all of the above, and I'll also add just a little scheduling quirk that people probably don't realize. But I mentioned earlier they have these coaches' breakfasts, right? It's Monday and Tuesday, and they're early in the morning. And usually the AFC goes on Monday and the NFC goes on Tuesday. And in between those two things is the reception. Like I said, there's open bar and food and all that stuff. And then Kyle and the NFC coaches have to get up the next day and go to the breakfast. So the fact that he did it on Monday, I'll let you reasonably infer what I mean. The fact on Monday, he was a little more bright-eyed and bushy-tailed on a Monday morning than he would be on a Tuesday. So that is certainly part of it. But I do think, to your point, I do think they are, and I think we talked about this the last time I was on, guys. I think the 49ers feel good about the fact that when they did the reset last year, and so they lost so many guys in free agency, and they brought in so many young guys, and they were counting on them to contribute in year one. They didn't know what that was going to look like in terms of a win-loss record. And then they won 12 games despite injuries, despite all the adversity that they had. They won a road playoff game. And so I think if you ask them in their heart of hearts, if they thought they'd be sitting in a spot this offseason where they feel like they could go out and be somewhat aggressive to add veterans, to add the types of guys who are going to help them try to get over the hump this year, I think they would tell you that would have been a surprise. I'm saying if you had asked them last year. And so as we sit here right now, like I said, I just think they're all a little bit energized by the fact that they have a chance to go and compete again this year. Obviously, they're going to have a lot better health, and they are in an absolute bully of a neighborhood in terms of their division, and that's going to be awfully tough. But I think they feel like they got as good a shot as anybody, so long as they're healthy and as long as they can continue to add, impact talent in the upcoming draft.
And speaking of staying healthy, look, hopefully we put this one to rest and then we can just figure out what the heck's going on. But John Lynch, the general manager for the Niners, called the whole electrical substation theory a, quote, nothing burger, which I loved that. And he pretty much said, we hired someone scientifically, looked at everything. Go into a little bit of depth on, why they shut that down and what are they maybe doing to further limit these injuries, hopefully.
Yeah, Kayla, I think the number one thing is the problem, the substation thing, more than a tangible, real scientific problem or health problem that they could tie to what was going on with them. They had a perception problem. And that perception lies within players, because there were players on the record and off who were saying, I don't know, maybe this is a real thing. And even if it just is a half of a percent is affecting us, that matters, right? Especially when you play football, and every little bit of your health is so important because it is such a violent, rugged game. And so I think they felt like they had to do something to try to debunk it. And look, they believed all along that was going to be the case. I don't know how you would even go about proving something like that without doing a study over many, many years, right? And I'm no scientist, but that's my understanding of how science works, right? Is you have to kind of observe and study things for a long time. So getting something on the record of someone who, had studied it for 45 plus years, the effects of electromagnetic waves and things like that, at least can maybe put some things at ease. But more important, and my follow-up to John Lynch after he was asked about the substation was okay, what about you still have an injury problem here. What are the things that you are doing? And he said they've invested $9 million into the facilities, which, as you guys may remember, when the player report cards came out, they had low grades both with training staff and training facilities. So they did that. And then in terms of the staff, they're not making any changes to the staff in terms of letting people go, but they are bringing in 3 more people, physical therapists, is the objective there, to try to give guys more one-on-one time so that they can kind of figure out what their body's needs are and ways to stay healthy, and maybe get out ahead of things. So they are at least taking some steps to be proactive to try to correct those things. And I think you have to take your hat off. A lot of these teams, a lot of owners complain about these report cards getting out there, and the Niners look at it and say, okay, how can we fix it? What can we do to be better? And I think the franchises that have the most success are going to be the ones that react to that in that way.
I do appreciate the franchise using those report cards, because I know the NFL certainly feels a certain type of way about them. But I do appreciate the owners and the franchises that see that and use that as an opportunity for self-reflection and to make improvements. Just another example of why the Niners have been one of those leading organizations in terms of handling things the right way. But speaking of the injuries, Nick, there was a lot of optimism that came out of these meetings in regards to some of their injuries, the possibility of Nick Bosa being ready to go or looking like he's going to be ready to go by training camp. There's optimism about George Kittle potentially ready to go by week one. I know the Niners have never been one to rush things, so they're certainly not going to rush and force anything back. So I'm not necessarily concerned on that front. But what did you make of that ongoing, I guess, optimism with these injuries? I know that's going to be a major topic of conversation as the offseason goes on, and you're going to talk about that a lot when training camp gets closer. But how would you, if you were speaking to 49ers fans right now who are hopeful about getting some of these big names and these stars back for the start of the season, how would you approach that conversation?
Yeah, I think Bosa, it should be no surprise that he should be ready to go just because his injury happened early enough in the season that there is a lot of lag time there. And I'm sure they won't just throw him in at camp full go. I mean, they manage him throughout camp anyway, so maybe it's even a little bit more managed than it has been previously in terms of his practice reps and the days that he gets off and all that kind of stuff. Michael Williams, which was an injury that happened closer to, I think it was right around Halloween, they think he could be ready for camp too, although John Lynch indicated that could be more of a kind of ramp him up as camp goes on type of a situation, just because there was a big gap between him and Bosa's injuries, although the fact that those two had the same injury and played the same position in the same room, and Bosa has been through this before, I think has been helpful in terms of Michael Williams having someone he can lean on to help him through that. The Kittle thing, look, I think we might have talked about this at the end of the season when I came on with you guys. Like Kittle, I asked him about when he could be back. I think I initially said something like, what do you think, like mid-season? And he kind of scoffed at me, and I said, week one. And he kind of looked at me like, don't rule it out. And so, Achilles injuries, we've come so far in terms of how quickly guys can get back and some of the medical things that they can do. I think that the concern that I would have there is not only you hope he's back in week one, but they have to fly to Australia in week one. And that is a lot. That's asking a lot. And now, granted, it's not like he's about to have surgery, just having surgery when you talk about like swelling that can happen on airplanes and things like that. But that is a long flight for a guy coming off of an Achilles injury to then try to go to play football. So I wonder how they'll kind of manage that as that goes. But look, I'll never rule anything out when it comes to George Kittle. I have no doubt that, there's nobody that's going to work harder than him to try to get back as quick as possible. And I do think reasonably, even if it's not week one, sometime in that opening month of the season, I would expect Kittle to be on the field. That's just kind of from where we stand right now. Obviously there can be setbacks or whatever, but that optimism is not unfounded from what I've been able to gather.
Nick, I love the NFL draft. Like, I get so excited about it. I love reading about these prospects and their stories. I don't know where it ranks on your list of what you love to cover in the NFL, but I'm curious as to what you're looking forward to this year in terms of the NFL draft in the Niners, and where are you going right now with that first round pick? Because I feel like there's about 3 options in terms of positions that you could go.
Yeah, I think my stance on where they need to go is like the obvious one. So just kind of bear with me on this, but like they need star players, and I know that's an obvious thing to say, like, oh, just draft the best players possible, but like this team and the situation that they're in right now, who the nucleus of guys are, and when you look at what that nucleus is that they've built around. With the exception of Brock Purdy, and I guess you could throw Diamador Lenore in there at cornerback, you don't really know who that next group is going to be. When Trent Williams and George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey and those guys start moving on, which is going to probably happen here in the next 2-3 years, who are going to be the guys that they have built around. And so there's a couple of ways that you can look at that when you pick at the end of the first round. Sometimes if you look at a premium position, let's say edge rusher, which is a position we would all agree they need. Maybe they're drafting the 6th or 7th best guy. Same for wide receiver. Do you take a chance that the 6th or 7th best guy, quote unquote, on the board could be one of the top 2 or 3 and a guy that you want to have around long term? Or do you want to draft maybe the 2nd or 1st best guard or safety, other positions that they have needs at, right? So that's kind of the calculus that you have to look at. And for me, I think if you're the 49ers, they need that star power, but it also needs to be staying star power and guys that they want to pay long term. And we haven't seen them pay guards big money to stick around. We haven't seen them pay safeties big money to stick around. So I think that's kind of probably going to be what you're looking at, whether it's an edge rusher, which is to me probably most likely a wide receiver, I think is a possibility. I think an offensive lineman, if they could finally get someone who could be maybe a long-term replacement for Trent Williams, and then ideally maybe push for the left guard job in year one. I just don't know how good you're going to get when you're drafting at the end of the round. But that's kind of where I'm looking at it. But the number one thing is they are in a position that they need to take the best player available, and they need to get some impact guys who are going to be around for the long haul.
Nick, final thing from me, another tidbit that came out of the owner meetings was the Niners sure seem willing to take their time and handle this Brandon Ayuk situation properly. They do not seem in any sort of rush to release him, or of course going to explore trade options for him. In your mind, that the right approach to have there, really, as much as it's not the most fun story and certainly circumstance to talk about, and I'm sure the Niners would love to move on from it as quickly as possible, there is no reason to rush the situation and rush themselves into missing potential opportunities to move him, or at least recoup some value, right?
I think the thing, Matt, is that this is like there's been multiple times before now where the 49ers were open to moving on from Brandon Ayuk. And the word that was always associated with that was value. Can we get back the value for him that we feel like we deserve? So let me take you back to before he signed his contract that offseason. There was a lot of rumors about him being traded. There was rumors about Deebo Samuel being traded. My understanding at the time was the Niners would have done it had they gotten a first-round pick, and a first-round pick that would have put them in a position that year to get one of the top 3 or 4 wideouts in the draft. And that draft, I think that was the Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison, Brian Thomas, those guys, Roma Dunze, those guys draft. They didn't get that kind of offer. The offers they got were more like second-round picks, which wasn't enough at the time. Fast forward to that offseason, like right around when he signed his contract, the deal that they had with the Steelers that got nixed at the last second because he signed, it was going to be a 2 plus something else. So that was the value. And then they obviously have wanted to trade him before he got injured. And then when he got injured, it killed that trade value. And then what happened last year really killed that trade value. And so now they're sitting here where I think they would take just about anything in return to get him. I just don't think it's realistic. I never say never because crazy things happen in the NFL all the time. But I just don't know why a team would be willing to give up something for him, knowing that, A, he really wants to play in Washington. I think that's the only place he wants to play. And I would say, based on what I've been told, the only person around the league who really knows what's going on with Brandon Ayuk in terms of his health and where he's at in terms of wanting to play is Jaden Daniels, the quarterback of the Commanders. And so if you go beyond that and you look at his contract, there is a big option bonus due in September, which I don't know why a team would want to exercise that because that means guaranteed money and caps charges down the road. Or if you don't exercise it, you have to take all of that cap on for 1 year, which means you would need Brandon Ayuk to negotiate a reworked contract with you to make it work. And again, what is his impetus to do that if it's not in Washington? So the hope is, I would imagine that Washington would be willing to give up something to get him into their building, start rehabbing, start building chemistry with Jaden Daniels on the field, all that stuff, right? And I think that's what the 49ers are kind of hoping for. And you heard Kyle Shanahan make reference to, we're not going to hook anybody up, like early on just for the sake of doing it. I think that was a not so vague reference to Washington, like, hey, come get him. The problem also for the Niners is, if you're looking at a trade for Brandon Ayuk and you start looking at what the possibilities could be, you might say, well, why wouldn't they just do like a pick swap, a late round pick swap? You see that nowadays when a team wants to unload a guy, it's a 7 plus him to get a 6. The Niners don't have any picks after the 4th round. So they're not even really in a position where they could do something like that this year. It might have to be after the draft where they would do something for next year. So that's a long-winded response, but as you guys know, this is a long-winded situation, and it kind of keeps going that way the longer it drags on.
Nick, you are the absolute best, my friend. We love having you on. We really appreciate you taking the time. I'd tell you to get some rest, but in reality, it's like, hey, take a nap.
Draft time, baby.
Take a nap because the NFL draft is basically tomorrow, it feels like. So good luck, my friend. We can't wait to have you back on whenever you're generous enough with your time. Your coverage over there at ESPN of the 49ers is second to none. So we really appreciate you and look forward to doing it again soon.
Appreciate you guys. Talk soon.
The great Nick Wagner from ESPN, who covers the 49ers in incredible detail, as you can hear. Incredible detail. It's really a treat to get him on the show. We'll take the break. When we come back, hey, let's switch gears to the Raiders really quick. Raider Nation, we haven't forgotten about you because a new veteran quarterback is in town in
Kayla
Kirk
called
Cousins.
it.
Kirk Cousins is here to mentor Fernando. We'll talk about it coming up next before. Pick a side. You're listening to Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 5:30 with tip-off at 7. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
How was your break?
It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So, even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code THRIVE25 for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code THRIVE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's THRIVE25.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Your Toyota's been through a lot with you. Traffic, rain, potholes, you name it. But it keeps showing up, mile after mile. So maybe it's time to give a little back. For a limited time at your local Toyota dealer, get 3 new tires and get the 4th for $1. Because a ride that's always there for you deserves to be taken care of. 3 tires, get the 4th for $1? Go on. Treat your Toyota. Deal ends April 30th. Keep your Toyota a Toyota. Restrictions apply. Toyota and Scion vehicles only. See participating Toyota dealers for details.
To infinity and the ballpark. Join the Sacramento Rivercats for Toy Story Night on Saturday, April 11th, and then bring your best furry friend to Bark in the Park on Sunday, April 12th at Sutter Health Park. Get your tickets at rivercats.com.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Line dancing, live DJs, mechanical bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with N&S Tractor and Case Construction and Courtyard by Marriott Sacramento Cal Expo. More info at CITVFest.com.
If you're serious about getting better at golf, start with The Fit. At Hagen Oaks, everything begins with Total Game Fitting. The TrackMan Player Performance Studio analyzes your swing to match you with the right clubs. Ping's Ballnamic Fitting helps you find the golf ball for your game. The Hagen Oaks Putter Fitting Studio helps you roll it true. And with FootJoy's 3D foot scanner, you'll walk the course in shoes that actually fit. From driver to putter and even what's on your feet, Hagen Oaks fits every part of your game. Total Game Fitting, only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80.
Maida Subaru says yes to big savings on the new Subaru you want. Yes to outstanding lease offers and financing as low as 0% on select models. Visit MaidaSubaru.com. Click the Maida Says Yes button to unlock your savings today.
Bring ready credit. There are many reasons to choose Gonzalez Law Offices as a dedicated trial lawyer with an undefeated record from 2016 through 2019, and you'll know that no case is too big or too small. Due to his success, hard work, and commitment to excellence, attorney Jonathan Gonzalez has been listed in Super Lawyers Rising Stars, as well as in the top 40 under 40 list by national trial lawyers. You can find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call him at 916-304-9187.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Man, I love talking to Nick. I'm not a Niner fan at all. Y'all know that, but I get fired up about Niners when I talk to Nick. He provides such great coverage, and we're going to do everything in our power to make sure we're speaking with Nick a ton, not just between now and the start of the season, but during the season, because his coverage is truly phenomenal. Check out all the great work that he does over there at ESPN. But Niner fans, take a break for a second, because we got to talk 49ers, we got to talk Raiders a little bit. That's right. Okay? All right, where's my guy Raider Ted? I know he's fired up. Well, actually, I'm curious how he feels about this, because in general, y'all know how I feel about, hey, I'm impatient. Draft Fernando, put the football in his hands week 1. But I understand there's typically a process to how you want to properly introduce quarterbacks, not just football, but quarterbacks to the NFL game.
Yeah.
The Raiders went out today and signed Kirk Cousins, which Kayla Anderson said verbatim they should do less than 24 hours ago. It's just a shame it didn't break yesterday right after you said it, because that would have been like, the third time in this show's short history that you said they could do this, and then bam, it broke the same day.
They could shut down Sabonis for the season. Happened 4 minutes later.
That was the wild one.
She's got a crystal ball. I don't know what to tell you. She's just got a good read on the situation. But Kirk Cousins, of course, very well established veteran quarterback, coming to Las Vegas to, in many ways, hold down the starting quarterback spot, be a clear mentor for Fernando Mendoza, and make no mistake about it, like, Kirk Cousins, I'm sure, is happy to still have a job. I think he's still a very capable quarterback. Kirk Cousins knows what he's signing up for, right? He doesn't take this job without realizing, hey, it's going to be my job. Right. Like, Kirk Cousins' success is not just going to be what the Raiders' record it looks like through the first, let's call it 6 weeks of the season minimum or something, while Fernando gets ready. Kirk Cousins' success is if Fernando starts week 7 and the Raiders are 2-4, 3-3.
Right.
But if he starts right away and he eases into it because Kirk was able to help him along, that is a incredibly positive reflection on Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
So while impatient Raider fan Matt here is like, start him right away because I want to see Fernando, I'm very for this move. I like this. I'm excited to see how Kirk Cousins and Fernando Mendoza work together to prepare Fernando for the responsibility of being QB1 in Las Vegas.
Sure, and look, they're getting him on the cheap, although I want to bring up this fascinating stat.
This is crazy when you told me this.
Because Kirk Cousins' agent, no offense to my agent, I love my agent. No offense to him, but Kirk Cousins' agent is GOAT, okay? Kirk Cousins has gone 11 consecutive seasons with guaranteed money.
Man.
He is the third, overall highest paid in terms of money that he's received in his career, quarterback of all time. And that's a lot in part thanks to that Vikings deal that was made. But now,
and those franchise tags in Washington.
Exactly. But now, towards the end of his career, he's obviously kind of doing it to probably, in terms of what I'm thinking, to help out the Raiders and to kind of give back a little. I think he wants to try to, in a way, be there to help Fernando Mendoza become the quarterback that he needs to be this season. And I truly believe, guys, that he will not start this season in terms of Fernando Mendoza. Yeah. And I know that's not what a lot of Raiders fans want to hear.
At this point, he shouldn't.
But I don't think he should either, unless they really feel like during training camp they see that he's fit, ready to go, the offensive line's ready to go. My thoughts on that, seeing this time and time again, it's not going to happen. So Kirk Cousins is pretty much saying, hey, I'll come in on a cheap deal. I'll help you out. I'll help mentor Fernando Mendoza. Fernando is already a very mature guy, but to have a guy that has been in the league as long as Kirk Cousins, I think it's going to be very beneficial. Also, you've got Tom Brady in the organization.
Yep.
I really want to say this, with Raiders fans, I feel like you have some hope.
I'm
Matt
scared.
included on this.
I'm scared.
I don't think it's going to happen overnight, but this is the best case scenario when it comes to not rushing a quarterback. I've seen it time and time again. It's not good. And I'm not calling for an Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love situation.
Sure.
I think that was a little bit overboard in terms of making that young man sit. But this is probably like a 2, 3, 4 game situation in Las Vegas. So I feel like it doesn't mean much, but it does. Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And if you don't have to spend a lot of money to get a guy like in there that can mentor your young quarterback, why not?
Quick off-topic side note, congratulations to Maxime Reynaud. He's been named the NBA Western Conference Rookie of the Month.
Let's go, Maxime.
So congrats to him.
Congratulations.
He averaged 17.9 points, shooting 59% from the field, 8.5 rebounds, and 1.8 assists in 33 minutes a game during the month of March. That included 2 30-point games.
Very
so
cool.
congratulations to Maxime
He beat Cooper
Reynaud.
Flag.
There we go.
He did.
There we go. That's our boy.
Back to the Raiders thing. There is a massive difference between Kirk Cousins taking this responsibility and Geno Smith taking this responsibility, right? Like a massive difference. And it does sound insulting to Geno Smith. I don't intend it that way. Geno, it was a failure here in Las Vegas. It's not all Geno's fault. The Raiders were terrible.
Geno also, I think, thought he could still be a starting quarterback.
Oh, for sure.
And guess what? He's just about, or he's going to be.
For sure.
Even though he's the last starting quarterback on the worst team.
I threw up in my mouth, though, when we started talking about when that report came out of, the Raiders could consider bringing Geno back to have him do essentially what they want Kirk Cousins to do for Fernando Mendoza. In the scenario you laid out there, let's say Mendoza has a phenomenal preseason.
Sure.
And let's say in training camp, he looks excellent.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, though, that just means, okay, maybe he can start week 4, not week 6. Like, that's what that means to me. And again, impatient Raider fan here. I want to see Fernando right away. But I can get excited about Kirk Cousins enough to know he can hold that spot down. He's more than a capable quarterback. He can get this thing off the ground, and I do believe Kirk Cousins will be a fantastic mentor for Fernando Mendoza. I'll just say this. Again, Raider fan, I've been tricked into getting excited many times in my lifetime as a Raider fan, only to have my heart broken, and I'm at risk of, it's not even at risk, I'm already doing it again. I think the Raiders have absolutely smashed this offseason.
I do too.
And the draft,
Tech,
the Fernando Mendoza will be easy in the first round, right? What the Raiders do in the latter rounds, round 2 and onward, we'll see.
Yeah.
But so far, they've smashed this offseason. It's great to see. It started with them doing what they needed to do at risk of pissing off Max Crosby to secure that number 1 pick, and with the momentum of knowing they've got number 1, they've made moves already to complement that. Boy, wouldn't that be nice if a team in Sacramento did that?
Yeah. Baby steps.
To me, it's a phenomenal step forward. Does that mean the Raiders next season are going to be great? No. They probably are going to be like 3rd in their division, maybe 4th in their division again.
Yeah.
But there's finally like a very clear, for the first time since Derek Carr was here, there's a very clear step-by-step, I see the path. I see the vision. It makes sense. They still got to execute it, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
This has been a very encouraging offseason. It's been a very non-Raiders-like offseason for the Raiders.
Well, but the whole theme of bringing in Clint Kubiak and obviously Spytek and having Brady join is they're doing a remodel. They're doing a refresh of the organization.
Yes.
While still keeping what, the Raiders are at heart. They're always going to be the Raiders, and you're always going to think the Raiders emblem and all that stuff. But they are trying to refresh what this organization really, truly needs to do moving forward to be a winning organization. By the way, speaking of Clint Kubiak, your new head coach for the Raiders, he did work for 3 years in Minnesota with Kirk Cousins. That's another thing I've seen, this familiarity that they're doing with their staff and some of the pieces they're bringing in. It's smart. They're doing it in Tennessee too, and I get it. Like, you could be annoyed with that, but the way to really lift an organization in the right direction is you've got to trust the guys you're hiring and who they're bringing in. And part of that is the trust of the guys that they're hiring. So I think they're headed in the right direction. Give it a little time. It's not going to happen overnight, but this move I really liked. I saw it coming, and I'm glad that it's official.
And that pre-existing relationship between Kubiak and Cousins makes it easier for the real conversation to happen of, Kirk, this is why you're here. You know why you're here. You're going to be training your replacement. You're going to be preparing your replacement. But you are so essential to the future of this organization and the present of this organization with how you handle that. And there is no shame in my mind in being the guy who an organization trusts to
Right.
prepare their future.
Absolutely.
The number one pick in the draft, they're putting in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of responsibility. That's a lot of power. That's also a lot of like faith. And I can imagine, well, in Kirk Cousins' mind, I'm going to be QB1 forever because he's a competitor. You don't get to where you're at without having that mindset. In Kirk Cousins' mind, I hope he understands and recognizes and appreciates, I think, how much faith the Raiders are putting in him to take on this responsibility.
And he did it. He did it in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Look, he did it in Atlanta with Michael Penix Jr. And he kind of knew, like, even with all that happened, and then they drafted him, he continued to be that guy that could help mentor him. And then obviously he did have to come in towards the end of the season, and he won some games for them when needed. You hope that's not the case, that he's not going to be needed later in the season when hopefully Fernando is playing. But it's a good backup plan to have, or it's a good way to start your year and give it a little time for your new guy to kind of fit in and understand. The NFL is very different.
We will take the break. When we come back, it's time to pick a side. You're listening to Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 5:30 with tip-off at 7. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
If your business depends on reliable vehicles, it's time to upgrade your fleet at myelkgrovechevrolet.com. We specialize in fleet pricing, bulk discounts, and fast approvals, so your team stays on the road and on the job. From work trucks and vans to fuel-efficient sedans and SUVs, we have the inventory, service, and financing to keep your business moving. Call or visit myelkgrovechevrolet.com today and ask about exclusive fleet savings. myelkgrovechevrolet.com. Driving business forward.
Switchfoot Live. Friday, April 24th, 7 p.m. The venue at Thunder Valley. With Fuel. And Lit. And Thomas Ian Nicholas. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. One incredible night with Switchfoot, Fuel, and Lit together live.
Sacramento! Now you've got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
Spring is here, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings, plus get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Pick a side, any side. It's time for Pick a Side on Matt and Kayla.
Oh, I don't need to see this, man. Body cam footage of Tiger Woods' arrest. I don't need to see
So
it.
I'm just like, why do we need to, come on.
I mean, it's polarizing. It's a big story. I get it. But again, Tiger Woods is one of my absolute favorite. And I know keeps screwing up over and over and over again. Ugh, I don't want to see that, man.
Do we need to see the body cam? I don't think so.
Did you see the transcript of the interview he did with the deputy?
No. Not.
Is it bad?
I mean, define bad.
Is it embarrassing? Does it make it worse?
Yes.
Ugh, great. I'll skip that.
I just don't. I don't care to see it. We already know what's happening. We already know he's going to rehab. By the way, I guess he got granted to go overseas for the type of rehab that he's possibly doing. So.
Well, I hope he gets the help he needs, and I hope regardless of the help that he needs, I hope he wakes up, man, just to stop making these mistakes, because he is one of my favorite athletes of all time and so important for the future of the game of golf, and we just need him to get back to that and that alone. Damn it, Tiger. All right, right now it is time to pick a side. I I like this first topic a lot. We were chatting about this in the group chat last night from some of the KHTK digital guys. So let's dive into it.
All right. Well, Sandy Alcantara from my Miami Marlins fins up. I should say our Kayla. Kayla's also in the Miami Marlin fan club.
Of course I am.
Yeah. So our Miami Marlins.
I'll stay out here.
He had a complete game yesterday. It was his first complete game since 2023. I think like the 12th of his career or something like that. He used to be really good at pitching. But anyway, he was being interviewed after the game yesterday and had this to say.
Sandy, your 13th career complete game. What makes this one a little different?
A lot of different, so it's been a long time without throwing a complete game, but this one is special for me. All my family here. Fans is not here, but we still love them, because we know this is a hard sport, and they know what sometimes they gotta do something. They work the house, but yeah, today was great for me.
They were at the house.
I love him.
So are we going fair or foul by Sandy Alcantara? By the way, the attendance for that game was about 6,600, which is lower than many of the A's games that were also empty last year.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with what Sandy did there. It's about as loving as you can do it. I remember years ago during all the Coliseum stuff and the low crowds of the Coliseum, Matt Chapman spoke about the fans and basically said, "We wish you would be here, and we understand the circumstance," and it was met pretty positively. Like, A's fans heard the message, said, "We're not here for this reason, but we appreciate you, Matt Chapman, and sorry you feel that way." I would hope Marlins fans would feel the same about what Sandy is saying here, because like Sandy knows, just like hopefully everybody in that organization knows, that organization has been a dumpster fire for so long, and they have to earn back that support and earn back that respect. But I promise you, the Marlins fans who were there, plus the Marlins fans that were watching from home and not spending their money to go there because they don't think it's worth it, they enjoyed that performance by Sandy. So attendance is not always a super poor reflection on the fan base. I think it should be looked at more as a poor reflection on the organization before the fan base.
I thought Sandy was too nice. I mean, if that was me, I would straight up look at the camera
we need
and
this.
I would straight up call out Marlins
We
fans.
need this. Oh, hey, Kayla Anderson, congratulations on pitching a complete game. Really impressive game.
Yeah, I know.
What about this game stood out to you?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, congratulations to my teammates. They were back there supporting me. It was good to have a complete game. I've worked hard for this. Something, though, that I'm not really happy about is, there was probably like one or two fans in the stands. Oh, yeah, we're used to that. That's what we have every single night. Look, we're working to get you guys wins, but we've started out the season pretty well. We know that there's other things to do in Miami, but aren't you the baseball area? Isn't this what people love to do here in Miami? They preach the baseball culture. I'm looking at you, fans. You need to get your butts out here in these seats and support our team.
Breaking news, Kayla Anderson traded to Toronto. The Miami Marlins ran her out of town.
And by the way, that was nice. I can't swear on
I was
radio.
Say, that was a lot cleaner than what you would have done.
That would have been a lot more intense than what I would have said and had beeps. But in all seriousness, I thought it was a smart move by him to kind of, in a way, get that jab in, with not really any fans here. But again, we like you fans.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a smart move by him. Maybe they get some more fans in here if they continue to win some games.
Because if he's saying that in a post-game interview, imagine the conversations that are happening in the dugout during the game when guys are looking around and going, "This sucks, man. There ain't nobody here."
Right? And I mean, again, you definitely build momentum off of crowds.
For sure.
And they just haven't had any.
Well, look, as the show's resident Miami Marlins fan, let me tell you, we may be few and far between, but we stand loud and we stand proud.
Sure.
Oh, my goodness.
And to Sandy's point, which I very much agree with, the Marlins have betrayed that community time and time again over the years, and it's going to take an ownership sale for people to even begin to consider rooting for the Marlins again. Now, I know winning cures all and all that stuff, but in baseball, the Marlins are basically like the A's, where they just don't spend money. Last year, at the end of the year, we found this out. The Marlins did not have a single position player making over $800,000. So they are the team that just trades everybody puts a bottom of the basement level product on the field, and their one lone shining star is Sandy Alcantara, and I appreciate that he's willing to say that.
They're out-Azing the A's. What's going on here? By the way, phenomenal username here on the YouTube chat, at Busy Reading right now, says, Busy reading right now. Says, at trade her, Kayla Anderson, to the A's so we can watch her in West Sacramento.
That's right.
There you go.
I'm not getting traded anywore, folks. Sorry.
Kayla has a no-trade clause in her
Sorry,
contract.
chat.
Kayla refuses.
We traded Luis Severino to the Marlins.
Yeah.
For Kayla Anderson. Low-key, good trade.
Yeah.
Good trade, I think, for the A's.
Next topic.
Fins up, baby. Second topic. The Wizards played a April Fool's joke that is going viral. The basic premise is that they had a guy blindfolded shooting a half-court shot for $10,000, and they made the crowd and the mascots pretend like he made it, and he didn't see, so he's celebrating, and then they showed him that he did not, in fact, make the half-court shot. They had to put out a statement apologizing because the reaction was not the way they wanted it to be, so... Do we think this is funny or this is foul by the Wizards?
Well, in the statement, they also admitted that this was a skit, that these were actors.
It's all weird.
Which, by the way, this happens all the time. Like, there are moments, those fun moments that you see on camera of the person getting rejected in the kiss cam and then going and kissing the other person next to him.
They're all staged.
No, I won't say all of them, but the vast majority are staged and they add a great entertainment value to it. I think it's lame that we're at the point that you have to put out a written statement or an apology about an April Fool's joke by an NBA organization. But hey, do you, Washington Wizards? Y'all know how I feel about April Fools. I think it's dumb. If that really were someone who thought because they'll have in college, they'll have students shoot for their tuition.
Oh yeah, no,
right?
It's a big thing.
And if they did that to a kid who just thought I just got a full ride and then broke their heart in that way, that would be tough. But I don't think there's a reason to get angry about it. Just, hey, don't do it. How about that?
Yeah.
Just choose to do something else.
I think what happens with April Fools and why I don't like the holiday, and I made that clear yesterday, is that people overthink the holiday. If something comes to mind like I did naturally, organically with the Cheez-Its to start the show, that's fine, okay? That April Fool's joke is absolutely fine. It played into the moment. We talked about how I was missing out on Cheez-Its all week and been forgetful. So it naturally, organically became into an April Fool's joke. Now, if you're overthinking it like this bit that Washington did, where you got to at some point then come out and apologize for it and say it was all a skit, that is a mess that nobody wants to get into and nobody cares about. So next time, Washington, just don't think that hard. Don't think that hard about April Fool's Day.
No, totally fair. I loved it. It was so good. And they're not even the first ones to do this before, so it's I thought it was fun. Our last one, do we want to do the sports one or do we want to do the food one?
Kayla, you make the pick.
Well, let me see here. Oh, I want to do the sports one.
Okay, the sports one.
Yeah.
Is Tom Brady's 7 Super Bowl rings the most unbreakable record in the NFL?
So this is a really interesting question, and I know there are some other things out there that you could argue okay, maybe this is better. I'm going to read a couple of them off. So let's see here. We got a 16-0 season. Literally, you can't have a 16-0 season because we have 17 games. But, a perfect season is in there. Favre consecutive start streak is in there. Rice receiving yards is in there.
Jerry.
So I don't know. I think I am going to stick with Brady's 7 Super Bowls. First of all, it's very, very hard these days for quarterbacks to even last with one team, let alone to win 2 Super Bowls with one team. I don't think that record will be broken in terms of 7 Super Bowls with one team.
I don't think that record will be broken.
7 Super Bowls in general.
I don't think that record will be broken either, but I just came across, this is from NFL.com, their most unbreakable records. Let's see. We have George Blanda, Raider legend, playing 26 NFL seasons.
Woo-wee!
You have...
By the way, have you ever seen the photo of him in his last season? He looks like he's 80 years old.
Oh, poor guy.
Aww.
Because back then, you just aged differently.
You have the 49ers, 18 consecutive road wins. Jim Hardy, 8 interceptions in one game. I don't know if any of these are getting touched. That being said,
so there might be like a list of them.
I feel like it's Jerry's receiving just records in general. I don't know if anyone's ever going to touch, but yeah, I don't think anyone's ever touching 7 Super Bowl rings.
7 Super Bowl rings.
Well, okay. I feel like if someone's going to do it, it's going to be like just a really good like lineman or something that just had good free agency decisions. Like someone that just found their way
That's
onto
why
great
I'll make
teams.
it specifically a quarterback.
Then no, I don't think a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like Patrick Mahomes is the closest right now with 3.
Yeah.
3. He's on pace for 8, if that makes sense.
Not happening.
On pace for 8, and like
if
just
he
based off
plays the same number of seasons as Brady, he's on pace for 8.
I don't know if that's happening.
I mean, you doubt him, but
I
he's
very
the
much
GOAT.
doubt him. I very much doubt him.
It's not the most unbreakable record because Mahomes is going to break it, but the specific one that I want to point out that I think is unbreakable is the receiving yards after turning 39 years old record, which Dave pointed out to me. It's one of the Jerry Rice ones, but some notable names. Drew Brees has 1 receiving yard. Tom Brady has 6 receiving yards. Mercedes Lewis has 31 receiving yards. Charlie Joyner, who used to play for the Chargers back in the 70s, he has 291 receiving yards after turning 39. Jerry Rice has 3,412 receiving yards on 247 receptions.
I mean, that's pretty incredible.
It's never going to get broken.
Yeah, I don't know
ever.
if anybody's going to.
200. He has 220 receptions ahead of the next closest person in terms of receptions.
Jerry's the GOAT for a reason. We'll take the break. When we come back, it's time for lunch break and a not so fun lunch break conversation today. Kayla's here to be the voice of reason, while I'm here to voice the concerns of many Kings fans out there. A new worst case scenario for the Sacramento Kings in the draft lottery has arisen. The Utah Jazz are circling like sharks. We'll talk about it. Plus, what ESPN scouts and executives say about the top 5 picks. We'll get to that, too. It's all coming up to start the second half of the show on lunch break. It's Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 5:30 with tip-off at 7. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener, like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV, but if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to you at a campsite play his acoustic guitar. Now before you start wishing you had a boat, Remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
When your check engine light comes on, do you see a repair bill or do you see peace of mind? For 20 years, CarShield's been the name America trusts to help keep you on the road. While other companies stop covering you when your car gets older, CarShield offers protection plans up to 200,000 miles. With over $1 billion in claims paid, we don't just promise protection, we deliver it. Don't let a breakdown break your budget. Get the flexible month-to-month coverage you deserve. Go to CarShield.com. That's CarShield.com today.
When a person is seriously injured, there's no substitute for the personal legal relationship offered by the local NorCal firm of Ashton & Price. From the first attorney meeting, every important decision is made with a direct consultation with, and I can't believe I have to say this, a real, live, experienced, flesh and blood local attorney. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price, serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries with no fee until we win. For the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for the lunch break. Your calls, your thoughts, your segment. Call or text us at 916-339-1140. It's the lunch break on Matt and Kayla.
Yes, indeed, it is the lunch break. Your time to call in, make yourself a part of the conversation. Of course, you don't have to talk about just the topic at hand today during this lunch break segment, but we encourage you to weigh in if you have thoughts. And I know many Sacramento Kings fan has thoughts on what we're about to talk about. A new worst-case scenario for the Sacramento Kings in the Tankathon standings has emerged and has everything to do with those unethical Utah Jazz, who are tanking their way now into the top 4 conversation.
And Utah's getting all the pro teams now. I'm done with them.
Yeah,
done with the state.
Kayla Anderson is done with them, and I'm right there with them.
You like jazz?
No.
We don't. Not right now.
You stole it anyways.
Yeah, but the Utah Jazz and the New Orleans Pelicans is just so
funny,
crazy to me. That
you like jazz?
That they
How about the Utah
that.
Pelicans?
That's even weirder.
What is it? The Yetis are the hockey team?
The Mammoth.
They couldn't do Yetis because of copyright reasons.
Mammoth.
That's cool.
It was the Utah hockey team, which was lame.
Yeah, very lame. We can give the Pelicans the Jazz back. I know the Utah Jazz and Stockton Malone synonymous at this point. It's been a long time.
The Jazz is
whatever.
the Jazz. I get it.
Fix it. You feel free to call in 916-339-1140 if you want to be a part of this conversation. You can also text that number 339-1140. And all of our good friends on the YouTube comment section get ready to chime in as well. So, last night, the Sacramento Kings defeated the Toronto Raptors in, if you missed the start of the show, what was a very entertaining, very impressive victory by the Kings.
Yes. They were a 12.5, I believe, or something point underdog.
12.5. You're right.
Yeah.
No matter how I feel and no matter what I say about the tanking conversation or the draft lottery odds. Let's call it a draft lottery odds conversation because it's really not a tanking conversation anymore. The Kings aren't tanking.
No.
We know this. Other teams are. The Kings are not.
Yep.
Some fans want them to. They're not tanking. It's just losing in draft lottery odds. That's what this conversation is about. So no matter how much we talk about that, no matter what I personally say about that and my thoughts on the draft lottery situation, it does not take away from how I feel about last night's basketball game specifically, which is, again, very entertaining. Shout out to the players. DeMar DeRozan was awesome. Precious Achiuwa was awesome. Doug Christie coached his you-know-what off last night. Great way to snap a losing streak. Great way to end the final long road trip of the season. All of that is true and is not changed by what I say. The premise of this conversation is, will a great game like that become a regret for an organization based off of the circumstance that they now find themselves in? When we've been talking about the Tankathon standings, Kayla, we've talked about how do the Kings move up, right? After on Monday, when we did Monday's show after the Kings lost to the Brooklyn Nets, it was, they're a half a game back of Brooklyn. They're
right there.
They're right out of the top 3, and those top 3 spots are the flattened lottery odds, 14% for number 1 overall, 52.1% for top 4. Okay, those are the best spots that you could possibly have. We were excited about that. They were in the mix. And technically, they still are. I want Kings fans to understand this. The Kings are a game and a half back of both the Brooklyn Nets and Indiana Pacers in that second and third spot. They're both currently tied for that spot. The Nets and Pacers play each other one more time. The Nets and Wizards. The Wizards are now in that number 1 spot. The Nets and Wizards play each other one more time. So if the Kings lose out over these final 5 games, which I'm doing this off the top of the head, they have New Orleans on Thursday, Easter Sunday against the Clippers, twice against the Golden State Warriors, 1 in San Francisco, 1 here, and then they wrap up in Portland.
Yeah.
If they lose out in those games, there's a very good chance that they could still end up in the top 3. However, with their win last night and the Utah Jazz now on a 7-game losing streak, the Jazz have crawled their way out of the sewers and are suddenly the monster haunting the Sacramento Kings right now.
The clown on a...
They're it.
What is it?
Pennywise.
Yeah, Pennywise.
The Utah Jazz are Pennywise right now, climbing out of the sewer.
And we're the children.
And we're Georgie.
Who has the balloon?
Pennywise.
Pennywise has the balloon.
Yeah, Georgie?
Can I? Yeah, he gives.
Do you want your boat?
He floats
Oh,
up
well,
the
now
balloon.
that's perfect because your name is literally George.
We all float down
there it
here,
is,
Georgie.
yeah.
I love it. It is phenomenal.
It is really good.
The book.
It is really good.
The book is horrifying, and the movies are really, really. They do a really good job about. But the book is also confusing because it's 2 timelines at the same time. Anyway, the Jazz are lurking. They're right there. No, Stephen King is cool.
He's so good.
No, specifically the 2 timelines thing.
Read the book. It's crazy. Read a book, people. Although I didn't read it, I listened to it.
I don't have time for that.
I listened to it on Audible. I haven't read a book in so long. I just listen to books now. Audible is the best. Audiobooks are amazing. Sponsor us.
Just audiobooks.
Hey, audiobooks sponsor us.
Sponsor us.
If there's an audio version of the book, pay us.
I feel like, Matt, you would do good as a voiceover person for audiobooks.
I would love to.
Right. Yeah, he would do good
I've
at
done
that.
voice acting on like projects in college, but never
he'd
beyond
be
that.
That's by the way, voice acting is where you make money.
Yes.
Just saying.
It's very competitive though. Yeah. Do we do a lot of voices in Dungeons and Dragons? I DM. I'm the dungeon master in Dungeons and Dragons, so I do a lot of voices.
The DM, as they call it.
The dungeon master, the DM or GM, the game master, if you want to call it that.
Scott Perry?
No, I do not. I'm not the GM of the Kings.
Are you the GM of Dungeons and Dragons? Though?
I am the GM of the Dragons. Starting point guard for the Dragons.
What is the D&D equivalent of drafting Marvin Bagley over Luka Doncic?
A goblin. I don't know. I don't know. No, we're not talking about that right now.
That's what you would do as general manager. You would draft Marvin the D&D equivalent of Marvin Bagley over Luka.
We're not giving back keys to a GM job.
Please don't.
No.
Please do not.
Now, Kayla, absolutely.
Okay, Kayla's good at everything. Matt's not.
Well,
we get it. We
no,
know.
No, that's not true. But I think I'd be.
Kayla would get the number 1 if we send Kayla to the draft lottery. We would get the number 1 overall pick in the draft, but when the camera panned to her to like show that she was representing the Kings, she'd spill her drink.
I feel like Kayla also would make trades a little too gut reaction-y. You know, it's like someone has 3 bad games and all of a sudden she would trade them.
Get them out of here.
No, mine's more personality based.
Oh yeah. Oh, Keegan's
like,
gone.
If you're not a dog, you're not a dog. None of these kitty cats. Meow. I want a dog. Woof.
That's a quote from somewhere.
Yes, it is. It's a quote from a coach up in Montana. It's a very famous quote.
Yeah, I've seen that video somewhere on the internet.
I don't want a kitty cat.
Kayla is trading Keegan Murray day 1 because he's not loud and boisterous.
Yeah, I just mean your
but
play.
you can't have all dogs.
I just mean your play, okay?
Your play.
You can have like a quieter personality. You gotta.
But he has some wiggle, so
he does have a little wiggle.
Yeah, I'm not on you, Keegan.
I got a little wiggle, coach.
So the Sacramento Kings are a game ahead of the Utah Jazz in the draft, Tankathon, lottery, standings, whatever the hell we want to call it. The difference between 4 and 5 is massive, people. It might not seem like it, but it is. At the 4th spot, you have a 12.5% chance at number 1 overall. That's only a 1.5% less than the top spots, which is 14%. The 5th spot, you have a 10.5% chance. Again, doesn't seem like a lot. Here's the big difference. Here's the kicker. This is big. In the fourth spot, you have a 48.1% chance of being a lottery team. Or, sorry, what the hell am I talking about? 48.1% chance of being top four.
Oh, top four.
Top four in the lottery,
gotcha.
right? That is slightly less than 50-50, right? Slightly less than a coin flip, but barely. At that fifth spot, you drop down to a 42.1% chance of not being top four. And if you drop down to 5, you can fall as far as 9.
Sure.
Although 9, very low likelihood. I don't even think we need to talk about that part, but like 6,
let's
7.
not speak that into
6, 7 range, very, very light. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
7.
I mean, you did it. 6,
I know,
7.
but I can say 2 numbers and not react to, or children everywhere, you psychopaths.
There's some kid in a car right now driving with their parent that is hitting the 6, 7.
Okay, I did a bingo night for my wife's school.
You mentioned that.
I
emceed
it. Thank you.
You're very proud of that.
You GM'd it.
I GM'd it. I had a great time. It was actually a lot of fun, except
15.
No, I brought some flair to it.
I know you would, but that's what you usually get with smoke in your face, like in a bingo parlor.
It was at an elementary school.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Smoke in your face.
Kayla's going nuts.
Old people smoke in the
but you're
bingo
going to the
parlors.
bingo parlors where old people are just
but that's
ripping
what they do.
cigarettes?
Yes, that's what they do, and they're like, A15.
Bingo night at Kayla's is lit, let me tell you. But there was a G67, and every time I said it, the entire lunchroom went crazy, and I wanted to die.
That's pretty funny.
No,
though.
it's
6,
not.
7.
I think they're getting over it, though.
My son does it now, and whoever taught him, I want to kill.
So he's not over it yet?
Of course not.
My
My son's
nephews are
4.
over it.
He
Okay.
just learned it.
Right, but kids think it's not cool now because adults do it.
Yeah.
Good. Then keep doing it, adults.
6, 7.
Let's get it done. Get it out the way. 8, 9. Anyway.
Is that a thing now?
Yes, it is.
When someone
Yes.
says 6, 7, you say 8, 9.
Yeah.
I think the Grinch invented it. The guy who plays like the Grinch in like at Universal Studios. Do you see all those videos? Is that just my
You mean
Instagram
just the
algorithm?
guy in the mascot costume?
Yeah, the guy who dresses up as the Grinch.
Is he famous?
Did it to there's a couple of them that do it, but a lot of them, I guess it's just my Instagram algorithm.
I guess.
When we get to Christmas time, I just get a bunch of videos of the guy who plays the Grinch doing crazy
So
things.
now we know your Instagram algorithm is no Trader spoilers, but Grinches at Universal Studios
during Christmas time, yes.
telling kids not to do 6, 7.
My algorithm is screwed up in general.
I mean, that's everyone.
It's all over the place. Where are we at? Oh, yeah. The Utah Jazz are a game back of the Sacramento Kings in the Tankathon standings.
You were just laying out the percentages of why this matters.
Right. Thank you. The Kings falling to 5 guys, in my opinion, would be pretty catastrophic.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Now, if you have the approach that like Kayla laid out at the beginning of the show, it's a completely reasonable, valid approach that I'm not so certain that members of the Kings front office don't already feel this way, which is it's a talented draft. What's going to happen is going to happen. We're going to prioritize winning games and playing hard now and let the ping pong balls fall as they may. That is a very, I think, healthy approach to have. We have no control over it, so we can't stress about it. Except the Kings do have some control over it because they can lose games to increase their likelihood of not falling into that 5th spot. I know Kings fans are upset that last night the Kings won because Precious Achiuwa and DeMar DeRozan each scored 28 points. Last night, Maxime Reynaud, who, by the way, was just named the Western Conference Rookie of the Month, so congrats to Max.
Big time.
Last night, Maxime Reynaud had 6 points in 23 minutes. Also had 8 rebounds. Nick Clifford had 9 points in 32 minutes. Both of those guys took single-digit shot attempts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're not going to shoot every single time, but I understand any Kings fan that goes, well, if the Kings are going to win, I want it to be because of Max and Neek, not because of DeMar and Precious
I'm
Achiuwa.
kind of over that, by the way.
I agree. And I think at this point, it's like, if they're playing, they're going to play hard. Just accept it. Like, that's...
They're also tired, P.S. I do believe those rookies are kind of down to the last part of their season.
They've played 2 college seasons in one at this point.
And a lot of them not expecting to probably play that much.
Right. Going from the 42nd pick in the draft to basically the Kings starting center on a nightly basis. Like 100%. Yeah. And Nick Clifford's been playing 35 to 40 minutes a night, and he just came back from injury, by the way. So, yes, that's a valid part of the conversation, too. But I do understand fans that are going, well, not only are you winning games, you're winning games because of veterans who may or may not be on this team or really aren't probably going to be part of your future going forward. It just doesn't seem like there's any value there. Mm-hmm. I understand that feeling by Sacramento Kings fans. In my mind, it doesn't matter how deep the draft is. It's incredibly short-sighted to be okay with falling to 5 and just hoping the ping pong balls fall where they may. It is insane to me to drop another, 6% out of with their odds of being in the top 4 and another 2.5 or 1.5% or whatever it was. I think it was 1.5% to get the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
So you get 1 or 2 more wins over these final 5 games. That's insane to me, even if I understand that players and the coaches do not care. From an organizational standpoint, that just seems so dumb.
Well, and that's why I wonder, clearly, we are all under the impression. Now, I know you have not had anything told to you specifically on this, but we're under the impression, I feel like, that Westbrook is probably done for the season.
I'd imagine so.
In terms of probably not going to play again, right?
Right.
We're not quite sure and probably don't think that that's the case for DeMar because DeMar played last night. We saw what happened. The only time we saw what was going on with DeMar was recently when he was bumped and bruised. He didn't play a back-to-back.
Yeah, the second night of the back-to-back in it was a Sunday's game in Brooklyn.
Exactly. There's no more back-to-backs.
That was the second game he's missed
that's
all
what
season.
I'm saying, all season, because the other one was a food poisoning or something
illness.
like that.
And he wanted to play, and they had to send him home.
So every time we have seen the roster here, for the most part recently, when they win games, they have usually DeMar in there. Obviously, Precious plays. When it's all the youth, when DeMar hasn't played and maybe Precious is having a down game, then we're seeing them struggle. Mm-hmm. So I do wonder down the stretch here, now that has happened with this Toronto game, maybe they did not expect this outcome, even with DeMar playing and Precious went off as well. Maybe there are some things that happen down the stretch with these remaining games.
Maybe.
With players not playing or playing. That's the only thing that, and obviously they're not going to make it blatantly, clear that they're tanking.
Well, they might have to.
But at the same time, like Matt said, do you kind of need to?
I think an important part of this conversation is I think the Kings very, very much care about and take seriously doing right by the veterans that are here. Mm-hmm. Doing right by DeMar DeRozan, doing right by Russell Westbrook.
Can I ask you why you think that is?
Because Scott Perry has been in the league a long time, and I know Scott Perry very much respects and values Russ and DeMar especially.
Got it.
My hunch is this when it comes to Russell Westbrook. My hunch is Russ could probably still play. Mm-hmm. My hunch is that Russ probably still wants to play.
I think he still wants to play.
I think the Sacramento Kings, this is a total speculation on my part. My
Be careful,
hunch,
Matt.
I know. I don't want to get it wrong with intent.
Jeez.
Don't worry, they're still on the road right now.
It doesn't matter. Someone will hear it. My hunch is that the Kings went to Russ, or Scott Perry went to Russ, and said, hey, can we shut you down for the season? That's my hunch. I have no idea if that's true or not. Would it shock me if Russell Westbrook plays again? No.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to happen because I think Russ could still play right now.
And he's dealing with what is said to be right now a
toe injury management, like joint, like a foot thing. I would be shocked if DeMar is shut down because we know, not just based off of this season, we know based off of DeMar DeRozan's career how much availability and games played matters to him. Mm-hmm. He takes pride in it. Go to Basketball Reference and just look at the amount of games played for DeMar DeRozan throughout his career. It's something that is very, very important to him. I remember when the Kings signed him, and he did his press conference inside the Golden One Center. I got the opportunity to do a one-on-one interview with him, and I asked him about that. And he talked about how much he value, like that's how important that is to him, taking care of himself, right? And there are different guys around the league that are like this. Harrison Barnes had his streak snapped at like 200 and something games or something like that, and of consecutive games playing. That's very important to Harrison Barnes. Mikal Bridges has played like 500 plus games or something crazy. That matters to him. Which is
amazing in the world of basketball we live in now, where we had to change rules because of management, game management and all that stuff.
So I understand a Kings fan, and I haven't looked at the comments. Maybe someone said this in the comments or not. I understand the Kings fan that goes, who cares? Do what's best for the organization, not what's right by DeMar. That's just not realistic based off of who I believe Scott Perry is, and the reputation of DeMar DeRozan around this league. Look at what the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo are going through right now, with the Bucks not wanting Giannis to play. Giannis wants to play, and it's a big mess. And players, agents, people pay attention to that.
Yeah.
The Kings would not like to have something like that happen over these final 5 games. It's not worth it for them to piss off DeMar DeRozan in any kind of way to shut him down. So I don't believe they will.
It's crazy because, again, add another thing to Scott's list. Scott's list is very long. It's longer than Santa Claus's. Like, it's crazy.
You got that right.
But add another thing, and I know this is deeply thinking into the situation, but when Scott's a new GM someplace, right, and you know that veterans like DeMar and Westbrook have a ton of pull in the league in terms of just talking and people they know and connections they have, like, it's already hard enough to get free agents here.
Yeah.
Let alone if you make 2 really, future Hall of Famers mad.
Yeah, don't tick them off.
I'm just saying, I know it seems stupid and minuscule, but it's not. Not when it comes to overall how business is done in the league.
You're right. It
so
matters.
It's another thing that Scott Perry has to think about when maneuvering through this weird season.
It might not matter to someone on the outside who is like, you don't have to deal with them on a daily basis, but Scott does. And Scott has to deal with the ramifications of, because remember, as of now, DeMar DeRozan's under contract for next year.
Right.
And there's a big decision to be made about that. So pissing him off is not in the best. And I don't know how ticked DeMar would be. I just know how much DeMar cares. So I don't think it's realistic to say shut DeMar DeRozan down for the rest of the season. I just don't think that's realistic. So what did the Kings do? I don't know what they do other than maybe shutting Precious Achiuwa down.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Right? Shutting Malik Monk down?
That ain't good. Don't shut Precious down, because then he probably won't come back here if he has a chance to. I don't know. I mean, you didn't have some G Leaguers also last night.
Yeah, because they were playing the Stockton Kings playoff game. And
Stockton won.
Shout out the Kings.
Shout out. Maybe, they put more of these guys back inserted in the lineups moving forward. I don't know.
It's even gotten to the point, though, Kayla, with this, and I know we got a break. It's even gotten to the point that at this point, I think one more win and you get caught. I think you have to lose out to not get caught by Utah. And we'll see if the Kings can move up too. But I think the Jazz are going to catch the Kings if the Kings win one more game. And even if the Kings, let's say the Kings beat the Clippers on Sunday and Maxime Reynaud has 30 points and Nick Clifford has 20. On the surface, I want to say good. But in reality, one more game of them playing well, is it worth getting caught by Utah? I don't think it is. That's a big difference mathematically. And I understand every Kings fan who's going, win every game, play to win the game, shut up about this tankathon stuff. I get it 100%. I appreciate that perspective. Playing the odds is what's most important for this organization going forward, in my opinion. And I think there are people in that front office that feel the same way. I just don't know what they do at this point. You just got to ride it out and hope you lose.
It's a rock in a hard place.
Yeah, you got that right. Well, what are scouts and executives around the NBA saying about these top 5 picks?
I'm curious about this.
There is a lot of stuff to break down from this article. We will do that next before Kayla's 2-minute drill. You're listening to Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports. Will, I see you on hold. We'll get you right when we come back. Appreciate you calling in. It's Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 5:30 with tip-off at 7. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years.
I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI, and you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
If your business depends on reliable vehicles, it's time to upgrade your fleet at myelkgrovechevrolet.com. We specialize in fleet pricing, bulk discounts, and fast approvals, so your team stays on the road and on the job. From work trucks and vans to fuel-efficient sedans and SUVs, we have the inventory, service, and financing to keep your business moving. Call or visit myelkgrovechevrolet.com today and ask about exclusive fleet savings. myelkgrovechevrolet.com. Driving business forward.
Sacramento! Now you got a place for all things dance.
The all-new Energy 100.5 HD2.
Where dance music lives. Dance vibes anytime and any place when you get the free Now 100.5 app.
Or listen at 100.5 HD2.
Hi, Flo here from Progressive. You know, life changes quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, you mean like adding another vehicle?
Yes, that's something we can do.
Great, because I was thinking about getting a van so we could just keep the kids' softball stuff in the car.
Oh, we don't need to get into specifics. Just saying it's easy to change.
Oh, and Hannah wants to try the tuba.
Again, we don't need the specifics.
Last year, she wanted to be a tap dancer, but that only lasted 2 lessons.
Okay.
But she kept the shoes because they are adorable.
Well, just know that with Progressive, you can easily add another car to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
When your check engine light comes on, do you see a repair bill or do you see peace of mind? For 20 years, CarShield's been the name America trusts to help keep you on the road. While other companies stop covering you when your car gets older, CarShield offers protection plans up to 200,000 miles. With over $1 billion in claims paid, we don't just promise protection, we deliver it. Don't let a breakdown break your budget. Get the flexible month-to-month coverage you deserve. Go to carshield.com. That's carshield.com today.
Today is National Burrito Day, and to celebrate, Jim Boy's is selling a snack-sized Parmesan-crusted burrito called a Snackerito in 3 delicious flavors for just $4.95. Go by and visit your local Jim Boy's and enjoy today.
To infinity and the ballpark. Join the Sacramento Rivercats for Toy Story Night on Saturday, April 11th, and then bring your best furry friend to Bark in the Park on Sunday, April 12th at Sutter Health Park. Get your tickets at rivercats.com.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
The top of this NBA draft is going to be appointment viewing. For the NBA draft coming up this summer, it's going to be that situation that, let's say even the Sacramento Kings get the number 1 overall pick, and there's a draft party inside the Golden One Center, right? And they take AJ DeBonsa number 1 or whoever, whatever, great. I'm sticking around to see what the next 8 picks are. I'm fascinated. I have no idea where it's going to go. I don't think so. There she is.
There we go.
We got her.
I was
Sorry,
trying to
Frankie
react.
was talking to me. That's my
trying
bad.
to react and couldn't even hear myself.
Well, get ready to react to this because ESPN spoke with a bunch of different scouts and executives around the league about the top 5 picks in this draft. And as you can imagine, it's all over the place.
Okay.
So there's different questions they asked. Here, the first question is, who do you expect to go number 1 overall? Of course, these are all anonymous. No one's putting their names on any of this. But I will read for you some of the quotes from this article. Here's a quote from a Western Conference general manager. I guess you'd rather fail with AJ DeBonsa and his upside than not. And I know Peterson has upside. Maybe Boozer's upside is a little bit less. I just think that AJ DeBonsa, because he's 6'9" and could be like 6'10", 230 pounds by the time he's 25 years old, he just could be a monster. I think you've got to go down swinging with him if you go down. The very next paragraph from an Eastern Conference executive. I think Peterson is the most talented guy, but the injury stuff is a real question. That's a valid concern, and it's been a weird year. but he's a huge talent, and he was number one at the start of the season for a reason.
Are you reading more?
Rat, please.
Yeah, so I agree with both of those GMs, whoever they might be. AG DeBonza does not surprise me at all. And everything that he said, or whoever that was said, we've said this on the show. And the funny part is like making him grow an inch by the time he's 25. I was like laughing at that. Yeah, I mean 2 inches. You never know.
Hey, just put platform shoes on him.
Put some platforms on. But with the Peterson thing, it is interesting that GMs now we're starting to hear from him, because again, this was just us reacting to the Peterson season, to analysts reacting to the Peterson season. Now we're starting to hear actual GMs, and it's the same concern that everybody else has. Now that can change if you get Peterson into some of these interviews and he has a good reason, or you believe that he, is saying the truth about the situation. But right now, I think GMs are a little bit questionable about his situation.
Here's another Western Conference executive. I think the draft is, in some ways, similar to the 2024 Zachary Richer year, but on a higher level. That year it was like, is anyone going to be really good? This year it's like, well, you can imagine what he said there. There's a lot of guys. You have high confidence that at least some of them are going to be really, really good, but you're not really sure which ones. You don't want to be drafting at 1 and end up with the 5th best player. So that was what another Western Conference executive said. Now, here is the next section of this article. The question asked to these executives. Where do you stand on Darren Peterson's draft stock? So buckle up, Kayla.
Juicy.
I know you have thoughts on this. From an East Scout. It's definitely a thing. If you're a team that's in the mix for the number 1 or number 2 pick, you're going to have to get a ton of information on what happened and why. Another a West executive says, I think it forces you to start asking a bunch of questions that you normally wouldn't have to ask for a guy like Darren Peterson. Just the management of his situation and his health exposed him to some level of further investigation past the already intense investigation that a number 1 pick would go under. In the coming months, there's a non-zero chance that the root of this issue, depending upon what it is, could affect his stock.
It's all true. And look, I feel in a way it stinks, because Darren Peterson to start the season and really midway through the season, it was Darren Peterson at 1. I mean, that's what I felt in terms of what people were thinking.
It's what most people felt.
Yeah, and then it was the time where I think Bill Self, his coach, came up and spoke about he didn't know why he was checking himself out of the game. And I think at that point, that's when the narrative started to change. And we started to be like, okay, well, if Self isn't fully on board with this, what the heck is going on? And I think from there, we just started to see it tumble, because to be honest with you, DP, Darren Peterson, he actually played more after that. But then people almost started to negatively react to, well, then why are you playing more? Because now you're being scrutinized.
Right.
So he couldn't win in any situation.
Yeah, it was a tough spot.
It's a tough spot to be in. However, he put himself in that position. And now it's his job and his agent's job and the people around him's job to get him out of it. And that's what's going to happen during this combine process.
But these executives are saying the exact same thing that we've been saying, Kayla, for months, which is the most important part of the decision about Darren Peterson is going to come from the conversations and the investigation around Darren Peterson done face-to-face, one-on-one by other general managers, right? And what this executive is saying is the number 1 overall pick already goes through heavy investigation and scrutinization. They're going to dive into everything they could possibly find out about you as a player, a person, because they have to.
What
There's
makes
so
you
much,
tick,
and that's even tenfold this year with a draft as special as this one, or as special as it's considered to be. Because you got to get it right
if you're one.
Exactly. But Darren Peterson is now invited, whether his fault or not, an even further level of scrutiny and investigation. I think Darren Peterson might be exhausted by this process that's about to come his way, but it's what general managers have to do.
That's why I said it's almost a good thing that they were eliminated early from the tournament, so he can mentally get himself together and prepared for what is not going to stop the scrutiny and the questions coming his way. He's going to have to handle it And he's going to feel the pressure when he's in these meetings. There's nothing more scary than being in a meeting with guys, organizations that can draft you, and you get in your own head. He's got to be prepared for that.
Here's some executives and scouts' thoughts on Cam Boozer from an East scout. I'm not a huge fan of a one-position 4. If that's what he is, then you have to build your team specifically around that, given his lack of versatility. One East executive compared the conversation around Boozer's draft stock to another highly touted player who won at every level but had athleticism questions coming into the league, Luka Doncic. He doesn't look the part athletically, so people put limits on him. I don't know why people keep putting a ceiling on him before he's 19 years old. There's a lot of ways to talk about athleticism, not just how high you can jump, and he always plays the most efficient way he can to help his team win. Another East executive. I think people have gone numb to him and the production and the archetype. The versatility he brings offensively is one of one in this class. I understand the problems, the finishing, lack of rim protection, heavy legs, but he is an offensive catalyst to me. Think Domantas Sabonis, Alperen Şengün, any of the others who have been knocked for athleticism. IQ and feel have overcome so much. I think he has answered every question he can. Those are the thoughts on Cam Boozer from different executives.
And I really start to wonder where these executives that are speaking of him more like, hey, we shouldn't think of him as not having a higher ceiling or whatever it might be, that those are guys that truly feel that he could fit as a player in their organization. Because I do feel like Cam Boozer, in a way, is more of a fit of like who's drafting. Like, is that going to be something that we can really work with right now to like shape our organization moving forward? Sure. Is it the right fit at the right moment? And I feel like one of those executives said that, right? Like the negative kind of say about him.
Yes.
Yeah.
They laid out like the athleticism isn't the traditional sense, and his fit could be concerning in the sense of if he is truly like lacks the versatility at that 4 spot, that's tough to build around, a la Domantas Sabonis, right? We're kind of dealing with that here. But positional versatility and being able to jump out the gym doesn't make a better player. If he's essentially what that last executive said, like he's one of one, he's done everything that's been asked of him to this point. So why should we assume that it's not going to work at the NBA level, right? And he's 19 years old.
He's not like the youngest player.
It's not like, well, this is who he's going to be in the NBA.
Yeah.
He's 19 years old, right? Here's another one. Is Wilson a lock at number 4? This is an East executive who said, Caleb has been more productive and played harder in college than Atlanta Hawks all-star Jalen Johnson, who in college was more perimeter-oriented. If you had thought Cam Boozer is Al Horford or something like that, and you thought Caleb was like Jalen, then you could go Caleb over Cam. Multiple scouts and executives believe that Wilson's game, because of his combination of length, potential, and athleticism, screams high-level upside that could vault him into the top 3 of the draft between now and late June. The intel piece on him is incredible, another East executive said. I think he could easily go 3. I could see him being preferred to Cam Boozer.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, Caleb Wilson, not silently or quietly, because we've talked about him, even though he hasn't been, here in the tournament. We didn't get to watch him, even though it's usually like, what have you done for me lately type of scenario that people are jumping on bandwagons like they are with Acuff. Like he's getting a lot of hype, and I almost don't like that.
Yep.
But with Caleb Wilson, he's getting a lot of love. And with the broken hand and not being able to play down the stretch, I'm not surprised by it by any means. I think he's had pretty much the same type of hype about him throughout the season. People love the athleticism. Even with his 3-point shot not being great, it's not really brought up that much. It's always with him really focusing more on the positives is what I feel like with Caleb Wilson.
They also talked about which guard best fits at number 5. We're going to push that down to the 1 o'clock hour because we ran out of time. Will, I'm so sorry. I forgot to get you at the start, so we'll get you in real quick here before we go to Kayla's 2-minute drill. What up, Will?
Hey, thanks, guys. Hey, I'll make it quick. So you were talking before the break about, what you need to do about the old guys and stuff. And I got to be honest, we don't get free agents in Sacramento, and Scott Perry is not going to change that by being nice to DeMar DeRozan and Russell Westbrook. He should have cut him. They should have paid him out, cut him loose to get out of here. Now we're in danger of dropping out of the top 4 and best odds at a franchise-changing player. I just, as a fan, I don't appreciate it at all.
Well, I appreciate the commentary. I know there are a lot of fans that feel that same way. We'll see what's most important to Scott Perry in that sense, because it could end up deciding his job in the long run. We'll take the break when we come back. Switching gears to football, it's time for Kayla's 2-minute drill. The top stories around the NFL. That's coming up next here on Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 5:30 with tip-off at 7. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
How was your break?
It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code THRIVE25 for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code THRIVE25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's THRIVE25.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Russell Peters, Relax World Tour.
I go, my parents are from India. She goes, oh, India. See, I knew India. Indian people, you have a big eyes and long eyelash like a cow. Wow, 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 wow.
Saturday, April 18th, 8 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley.
Wow, 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 wow. I didn't know what to do. I just tipped her when thank you, bye-bye, and I left.
For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Russell Peters, Relax World Tour.
Sacramento. Get ready because the Sactown Sports Live events calendar is packed with can't-miss shows all season long. It all starts April 28th with Benjamin Todd live at Ace of Spades. Then May 9th, big night, big choices. Laugh with Tim Allen at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Or catch the iconic sale live at Thunder Valley Casino Resort, happening on the same night. Rock lives on May 16th when Jason Bonham brings his Led Zeppelin evening to Hard Rock Live Sacramento. And don't miss Lenny Kravitz May 22nd at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. June 6th, sing along with Richard Marx also at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Then catch all the summer vibes July 10th with Rascal Flatts at Lake Tahoe Amphitheater at Caesars Republic. August keeps the party going with Kane Brown at Ironstone Amphitheater August 16th and Ty Myers August 22nd at Lake Tahoe Amphitheater at Caesars Republic. From comedy to rock to country, if it's live, it's here. Check the Sactown Sports Live events calendar and plan your next night out today.
It's time for the 2-minute drill. Kayla Anderson has the ball, and she's taking us around the world of football. It's Kayla's 2-minute drill on Matt and Kayla.
We had a great time at 11 o'clock speaking with ESPN 49ers reporter Nick Wagner. If you missed that conversation, he shared with us all the great stuff that happened down in NFL owners meetings in Arizona. You can check that out on our YouTube channel, Sactown Sports. Hey, check that out when you're done listening, not just to our show, but when you're done listening to the Drive Guys as well. And the Drive Guys will join us at the end of the final hour of the show today before they take over. But, of course, those were the 49ers storylines. Kayla, there's plenty of other things that are happening around the NFL. It is time for Kayla Anderson's 2-minute drill.
All right, it is time for the 2-minute drill. When you hear that music, you know we're talking football. And I'm going to start off with a fun one.
Okay.
It's a little bit of an entertainment topic as well. But Josh Allen, quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, great quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, might I add.
Phenomenal.
Well, not as good as Mahomes, but
I mean, he doesn't have a Super Bowl yet, but this might actually pave way to a Super Bowl. I am talking about him and his beautiful wife, Haley Steinfeld, are becoming new parents officially today. She gave birth to their baby girl, so Josh is a proud papa.
Look out. He's got new dad strength is what he's got.
So that is what I was going to talk about, because I have actually covered several athletes in my career who have had babies, and then that following season,
they cook.
They cook.
New dad strength.
Absolutely cook.
You're dang right.
And so I am actually going to be looking forward to seeing this storyline play out. It's not a thing. Like, it's really a thing. So could it lead to a Super Bowl for Josh Allen and the Bills?
New dad.
Yeah.
New stadium. Super Bowl title for the Buffalo Bills. Let's get it done. Come on. Let's get it done.
I mean, can that new baby strength help keep him from lateraling backwards all the time?
It might. It's weird to say
Gonna
that.
run over linebackers.
Well, because you'd think with look at what happened with CMC this year too. He just had a baby, and his whole season, despite getting hurt in other seasons, he
new dad strength.
I'm telling you, it's something different.
Can Josh Allen's baby catch passes though? Can he play wide receiver? They might need that.
It's funny they named the child Khalil Shakir.
Crazy.
Oh, jeez. Well,
I love that story. Good start.
I know, right?
Will Mahomes still beat Josh Allen with dad strength? Yes.
No. I say no. I say no on
I'm
that.
Team Josh Allen on that. No surprise there.
We got to make sure Patty is healthy at least to start the season. Let's just start with that.
Could a one-legged Patrick Mahomes beat Josh Allen? Yes.
Classic Chiefs fan delusion over there. All right, next topic.
Moving on, and this is not as fun. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. I got a carrot on that. Okay. Seeking help. This is not joking matter either.
Oh, no.
So, but it's something I've got to talk about. So, LA Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua, great wide receiver, right? By the way, did you guys remember he was a 5th-round pick?
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
5th-round pick, and now he is just balling out for the Rams. He's one of the best receivers in the league. He is actually checked into a rehab facility. This is per his agent, Levi McCarthan, or McCathan, sorry. Last month, a woman in LA had filed a lawsuit against Nacua, alleged some anti-Semitic statement, something that he had said, and then later it was found out that he bit her on her shoulder. It's a lot of drama. Long story short, he's going to seek help, and I believe that was his doing. And again, maybe it was people around him that said that, but his attorney did say he will be back in time for Rams OTAs. In a world where mental health for athletes right now is becoming more apparent, they're talking about it more.
It's more in the public eye.
Yeah, I applaud Puka Nacua, not for allegedly what happened, but for trying to go and get help, because he is one of the great talents right now in the league, but he got to get stuff together.
Yeah, it's not, at this point, it's not just about him getting the help that he needs to stay out of trouble and stay on the field. It's you have everything going for you as the guy, the receiver for a very talented LA Rams team. The only way you can screw it up is by doing it to yourself. And he's very much doing it to himself, it seems like, with all this off the field stuff. So I applaud him in the sense for seeking the help that he needs. I hope this is the last time we hear anything about this. Use this as a wake-up call. Get the help you need, come out of it better, and don't fall back to this. Easier said than done, of course, but it's the position you're in, man.
Yeah.
You're just under this spotlight, and welcome to LA.
So back to something fun.
Yay!
Top this. So Topps, card collectors out there, get ready. Topps and the NFL have reunited for a long-term exclusive trading card partnership.
Woo.
So people are excited because Topps is back with the NFL. I'm not a trading card person now, but I know my brother is. I know Whitey is.
Yep.
We, clearly we do a lot around the station with that. Yep. So kind of a cool thing.
I'm sure this will be a topic on the True Cards Sports show that airs.
Almost got it.
What is it? True Cards. What is the last word? True Cards. whatever.
The True Sports Card
True
Show.
Sports Card Show.
I know.
I apologize.
The True Card Sports Show.
We were heading the right
with
direction.
Imran Pilati and Gleason Whitey.
Yeah, Gleason Whitey especially. No, they do a phenomenal job over there, and I'm sure they will talk about this. I know Alan Stiles is very much getting into the trading card scene.
Oh, boy.
So, yes. I don't know what this means. Cool. I hope it doesn't mean that there are going to be more bajillion-dollar cards out there now that people can, listen, if you're into the card scene, I personally am not. I'm nervous that if I did get into it, it would be a bad thing for me. But, hey, trading cards are going crazy right now. Of course, we have Tom Brady's card shop now that's down in Doco. So.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. I feel like it's definitely made a resurgence because I know growing up, I loved collecting baseball cards and, doing all the trading thing. But it's like now there's real money involved. Like there's YouTubers that give advice and open packages. For some reason, that's entertaining to open packages of cards on YouTube, but that's a thing. So, to each is your own, but maybe that's exciting for some of y'all. Decision for the Bears. That is right. We followed a little bit of the stadium situation. I talked about this maybe a month ago, but Bears president, CEO Kevin Warren, he laid out the team's projected timeline when it comes to where they'll build the stadium. This came down this week at owners' meetings. He says that the decision should come in late spring or early summer, so it's coming up soon. Currently, they're choosing between Hammond, Indiana, or Arlington Heights, Illinois. And originally, they bought the land in Arlington Heights. But because of property taxes, they started to look at other options, and that's where Indiana came into play. So obviously, now they're going back and forth on, do we want to really put it in Indiana, but it's cheaper? So they're going to have a decision sooner than later. But the Bears have never played a home game outside of Illinois since founded in 1920.
And I think it should stay that way. Personally, I understand cheaper. I understand these things cost a bajillion dollars. So it's not my money necessarily to comment on it, but I hope they make the right decision and stay in Illinois because I personally think that where you play matters. And as much as we roll our eyes at, well, the Niners play in Santa Clara, not San Francisco. Okay, it's still the Bay Area. There's not another team there. It
still
makes
in California.
It makes
too.
sense, right? I know technically the SoFi Stadium's not in LA. It's in Inglewood, right? Technically, whatever.
The Jets and Giants play in Jersey.
Yeah. At least by proxy, close enough, I guess. I don't like the idea of the Bears not playing in Illinois.
You don't like the Indiana Bears?
Nah, I'm not for it.
Even though it's technically closer to their current stadium than their Arlington Heights stadium would be.
So would they? I know this might seem weird asking. Would they have to change their name technically?
No,
they would still be the
Bears.
Chicago Bears.
Yeah,
they would never change any of that. But it would be just weird knowing it is in Indiana.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan.
I think it's 35 minutes away to Gary, Indiana, which is, I think, where they would probably put it. And it's 40 minutes away to the Arlington Heights Stadium. But it would be the Indiana Bears.
Yeah, 5 minutes is not a big enough deal for me to change state lines.
No, it's just property tax reasons. It's just for tax reasons.
Yeah, it's dumb.
That Indiana's we'll give you all the tax breaks in the world.
It's dumb. Keeping it in Illinois.
That's why the Chiefs are going to Kansas, because they'll give you all the tax breaks in the world.
It ain't my money. So
yeah,
easy to have an opinion when you
ain't footing the bill.
I
was just going to say, we're the ones that are that's easy. Keep them in Chicago, or in Illinois, excuse me.
Arlington Heights, which is technically not Chicago.
Speaking of money, do the Kings have the money necessary to bring Precious Achiuwa back? How important or how high is Precious Achiuwa on the list of responsibilities or priorities for the Kings this offseason? We'll talk about Precious Achiuwa's future. Plus, we saw RJ Barrett and Jakob Poeltl in action last night. Should the Kings look to re-engage the Raptors in Domantas Sabonis trade talks this summer? That is the beginning to our final hour of the show. It's Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 5:30 with tip-off at 7. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax. They know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive's accident response can detect and send help when you need it most, after a major car accident. But other accidents, you're on your own. Like when you accidentally call your wife Mom. When you accidentally say Happy Holidays on someone's birthday. When you accidentally wave at someone you thought was waving at you. We can't help with those accidents, but Progressive's accident response provides peace of mind after major car accidents. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
All right, let's have another positive Kings conversation again, shall we? We had the negative one during lunch break. Shout out to everybody who was a part of it. It wasn't super negative, but it's a negative way to look at yet last night's game, right? It was a negative way to look at last night's game,
right,
which was overall a very positive night in terms of the basketball that was played. Tank standings, another conversation. We talked about that a lot at noon. If you missed that conversation, you can go and check that out and listen back to the show later on today if you'd like. However, Precious Achiuwa was sensational last night. And we already gave DeMar DeRozan a ton of flowers, right? Because DeMar had a phenomenal game. His second half was sensational against his former team in the Toronto Raptors. So we're not ignoring him in this conversation. We're just having a very Precious Achiuwa specific conversation because Precious has, in my mind, truly, Kayla, I think Precious has been one of the best stories in the NBA this season,
he has,
period.
And it hasn't gotten nearly enough credit. He's not talked about anywhere nationally.
And low-key, I'm kind of hoping
I know
that works in the Kings' favor a little bit. I'm hoping, and I don't think general managers are this dumb, but I'm hoping that the narrative around the league is, Precious was just putting up numbers on a terrible, meaningless numbers on a terrible Sacramento Kings team.
That.
Sure, go ahead.
Let him think that.
Go ahead so the Kings can bring him back on $5 million a year.
Yeah.
Be my guest. I would love that, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think teams are very aware of what he's doing. Like you pointed out earlier in the show, every former team of his that he's played, he's cooked.
He's
the Raptors,
cooked.
the Knicks, he's cooked them.
He's poured gasoline and it lit the fire.
But he also plays. We had a conversation with Henry Turner on Tuesday, and Henry was in Toronto with the G-Man on the call of last night's game. And Henry talked about like Precious Achiuwa plays like a guy that was on his couch not knowing when the next opportunity was going to come. And it came with the Sacramento Kings. And not only did he step in, remember, the Kings signed Precious when Keegan Murray first went down with his injury.
Mm-hmm.
And Precious almost immediately stepped into a starting role here. And he's been a starter for over 50 games this season. He's been one of the most consistent starters the Kings have had. It's him and DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, and again, coming off his couch.
Right.
Joining the team in November.
So, in my mind, Precious ain't going to be on his couch ever again unless he's kicking his feet up at the end of a long season.
I hope not.
He's not going to be.
Yeah,
he's too
awesome.
Too freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
If no other team wants him, the Kings will happily bring him back. He spoke publicly after a game in Sacramento a couple of weeks ago, saying he wants to come back. He would love to remain a Sacramento King. I don't know if he's going to be, but I do know that if I'm handing a wish list to Scott Perry, a list of priorities to handle this offseason, number one is still above and beyond figure out and handle the contracts of some of these veterans. And that actually plays a part in this Precious Achiuwa conversation. That's still number one. Another one is commit to Doug Christie as your head coach or don't, but make a very public, clear decision on that. Mm-hmm. But Precious Achiuwa is up there. Bringing Precious Achiuwa back is rapidly climbing up that wish list for me.
It is. Again, the story, when you talk about the NBA on a national level, I know that the Kings aren't ever going to get a lot of love. And I understand that. But individual stories are also worth sharing. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think, because of the reason why no one's tuning in to watch the Kings on an everyday basis, they're probably not seeing, and teams, yes, but national media, all that, they're probably not seeing what's really going on with him being a consistent player, night in and night out, cooking his former teams, just fitting in with an organization and fitting in with a roster that he wasn't a part of to start the season. Mm-hmm. It's pretty incredible, and give him a lot of credit. Give Scott Perry credit for bringing him in. I've been very consistent on that, but give Precious credit for doing what he needed to do with that opportunity. And he's gone above and beyond, whatever that Toy Story is, to infinity and beyond. That's exactly what Precious has done with his opportunity. It's going to be interesting, though. You're right. He's going to probably get offers. And with the Kings' current situation, with these heavy contracts, with the money situations right now, with things getting on the checklist of what to do this summer, I truly wonder where this is, because there has to be other things that are worked out for him to be able to get paid a certain amount to stay on the team. I'm sure they want him to be here. Sounds like Precious wants to be here, but how much needs to be maneuvered around to make sure that happens?
Yeah, that's the big question.
That's the big question.
As of right now, the Kings are basically barely under what the projected new salary cap is going to be for next year, like by a couple $1 million, like barely under. That's for 9 guys on their roster. Now, this season, Precious Achiuwa is making $2.1 million. I'm pretty sure it's a league minimum contract that he signed. Again, no one signed him, so the Kings just went out and got him. He ain't signing a league minimum contract next year.
Heck no.
I don't think he's getting a massive payday necessarily,
No.
but I would put the floor probably around $5 million.
Okay.
But also, the market determines your value. And if this offseason is very similar to last offseason, in the sense of there's a lot of scared money out there and books are pretty tight, then that might drive down his overall price tag. So we don't know how much money that Precious Achiuwa is going to ultimately cost. We do know that the Sacramento Kings, again, have 9 guys under contract for next season. That takes up almost 100% of their salary cap space. They can go above the cap, of course, the first and second apron. They have a handful of $1 million between that and where the Kings are currently at. But if you're talking about, okay, how do you free up the money to not just sign Precious, but fill out the rest of your roster? You look at what salaries can the Sacramento Kings shed. Well, they're not doing anything with Max. They're not doing anything with Neek. Those are the two lowest guaranteed contracts that they have. So take that out of the equation. They picked up Devin Carter's rookie option for his third year at like $5.1 million. Well, $5.1 million might be around the range that Precious
that's
makes.
a good point.
So, but you've already picked up that option, so you can't back out of it now. Do you try and trade Devin Carter? Do you release? I don't
And it's
know.
like, how much can you really get for him right now? I
Right.
don't
Is he
know.
a sweetener on top of a deal?
Yeah.
But after that, it jumps up to the next highest is Malik Monk at 20. So it's like Max is like 1 point something million. Neek is 2 point something million. Devin is 5.1 million. Then Malik Monk at 20. Now, DeMar DeRozan is listed at $25 million because that's the full guarantee of his contract. Or sorry, the full value of his contract. Only $10 million of that is guaranteed. But regardless, there's a big jump between little contracts and medium to big contracts. And we know at the very top there's still Zach LaVine, who's going to make $49 million next year, and Domantas Sabonis, who's going to make like 46, I believe.
So we're coming back to a conversation, Matt, that we have about a lot of things. And it truly comes back to the one thing, why other moves can't be made or why other things can't happen right now. And we have to wait. It's these veteran heavy contracts. And something has to happen.
Got to get rid of one.
Something has to happen, else we're going to be continuing to say we're going to have all these issues until one of these things, what's like a good analogy for this? Because I feel like there's something in life that's like, until this happens, like until you, this is kind of like, sorry if this hits home for some people, tell you to sign the divorce papers. You truly don't feel like it's like, okay, it's done. You know, it's like, that has to be done.
I've always used like building a house. You can't rebuild a house without fixing the foundation first, because if you just rebuild a brand new shiny house on a crap foundation, that house is not going to.
It's going to go right back into the swamp.
Right. You can't just build it on top of mud. So to me, that's always the analogy that's made sense in my brain. But
here's a good one.
Okay, I'm in.
For pets.
Oh boy.
You know, you have pets your whole life, and you want to redo your house, but you know the carpet it needs to be removed, because you can clean up pee and poop as much as you want from your pets. Usually they're puppies or kitties. But if it doesn't just get ripped up, it's never going to go away.
Perma-stained.
You're always going to have the stain and a little bit of the smell.
Okay.
Sorry, that's more like my type of analogy.
That is a Kayla Anderson
now we're
analogy.
Talking about
so
a Kayla
what is Zach
analogy.
LaVine in this analogy?
No, we're not doing that. we're not doing that.
I'm not getting in trouble from Zach LaVine.
Hey, Matt George had nothing to do with that.
I don't think I make too much money. I think I get paid more.
Matt George had nothing to do with that. Everybody leave me alone. Don't clip it.
Well, it's false context, you know?
False context, out of context. The reality is it's the same. That's why I talked about it's the number one priority for Scott Perry. Scott can't do anything until he addresses or figures that part out. He can make a decision about Doug Christie. He can draft a rookie, but he can't really do anything significant for the roster as it is now without addressing that veteran contract situation. And it's not going to be easy to move on from any of these guys without taking back some sort of salary return. I don't think the Brooklyn Nets are lining up to, oh, sure, we'll take Zach LaVine's $49 million for no reason unless you're attaching draft compensation, which we know the Kings ain't going to do.
Right.
So it all comes down to, do you buy DeMar DeRozan out and take that $10 million and say, DeMar, you're free to go and find a better team for you because we need that space? Is that the route you go? Do you just buy out Zach LaVine outright? Like, I don't know what Scott Perry decides to do in that sense. But if you want to bring Precious Achiuwa back, if you want to fill out this roster with more than just league minimum guys at the bottom, because the Kings had too many of those guys this year. No disrespect to Doug McDermott. Doug's kind of the last one standing in that sense.
There were a lot.
There were way too many of them. Way too many of them. And you might need to do that again financially because of the situation you're in.
Who never even played that got traded?
Dario Saric.
Thank you.
And he
Sorry,
wasn't even
forgettable.
He wasn't even league minimum.
Sorry, he's forgettable.
He got paid $1 million per minute.
That's wild.
This year. He made $5 million this year. The Kings paid him $1 million per minute.
That's
Sign me up.
That's wild.
They were going to cut him out of training camp, but they just waited until they could get a deal. And lo and behold, they got a deal.
Yay.
It was part of the DeAndre Hunter, and then he was rerouted to, the Pistons?
Yay them. There's also the DeAndre Hunter element, too, but I don't think the Kings are going to trade DeAndre Hunter after just trading for him.
But the thing with Hunter and Monk is even if you trade them, you have to take salary back in return.
But you don't have to take all 20 back. In theory, you could trade Malik Monk if anybody wants him, because again, last offseason nobody wanted him. But let's say you trade Malik Monk to insert team here, the Suns. I don't know. And the Suns send you back $14 million to take on their 20 because they can absorb $6 million. Okay, there's $6 million. Give it to Precious Achiuwa. Problem solved, in theory. But it's not that simple, right? It's never that simple.
No, or it's simpler to just cut DeMar DeRozan or buy out Zach LaVine, and that money is now just there.
I feel like both of those options are plan F and G. Plan A, B, C, D, and E.
That sounded funny.
Plan F and Plan G. Where is your brain at, Kayla Anderson?
I'm such a child today.
Because plan A, B, C, D, and E is, hey, how do we get value for some of these guys? And one of those plans might be calling the Raptors back up and going, hey, let's revisit this Domantas Sabonis conversation.
Not if it involves Pirtle's contract.
Well.
Dude, by the way, he looks like a walking Frankenstein. Did he get hit in the eye or something?
He does. That's actually a very good shout.
Smokes. I did the
when you saw Costa Koufos.
Rah.
I like Costa though.
Well, that's because he was a king.
Good guy.
We have people making comments about the appearances of players on this show.
No.
And I'm the one getting in trouble.
Not of our players on the Kings. No, sir. They're all good-looking people.
So if Jakob Poeltl becomes a king this summer, suddenly he's very handsome.
No, but I was honestly wondering, did he get hit in the eye in the last?
No, that was DeAndre Hunter.
Well, yeah, he
was Hunter, who you guys want to wear an eye patch. You want him to be a pirate.
But you're right. He has a very square head, square body combo.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's his nickname. Poeltl the
Square head.
There's a Minecraft sponsorship coming his way.
There we go.
He does. Sorry. That's a great shout.
Before we get into the Raptors Domantas Sabonis trade conversation, Daniel wants to talk about Precious Achiuwa. What up, Daniel?
Hey guys.
Hey.
I was going to talk about Precious, but you brought up how much that they got the 9 players all sealed up, and they got pretty much nothing after that. If they get a top 3 pick, those players are $10 million a season. Isn't that set?
Yeah, so it's a little bit different, and I don't know the specifics of the CBA, but it's a little bit different because rookie scale contracts, and there's things in place, bird rights, things of that nature that allow you to go over and supplant the salary cap essentially and get kind of forgiveness of certain salaries. I don't know the specifics of it, but it's not like if the Kings got the number 1 overall pick and let's say AJ DeBonsa was like $12 million or was that? I don't know what it is. I don't think that would all $12 million of that I don't think would permanently go against the cap, but I don't know the specifics enough, Daniel, to lead you in the absolute right direction.
Okay, because that was going to get me into conspiracy theory. That's why we're winning. They don't want to be.
Oh, Daniel, that would be fun. And by fun, I mean horrible, but that would be terrible.
Okay, with Precious, all of his numbers are average Precious numbers he's always had. So, hear me out here. If we don't have the injuries that we have right now, he's not going to be playing as much, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be on the bench most of the time. Is it going to be worth it to even sign him?
That's a really important part of the conversation too, Daniel. Thank you so much for the call. In my mind, Precious Achiuwa long-term is a 6th or 7th man off of your bench, which I think is
not a bad problem.
Not at all. But that's why, if I'm paying $5 million for a really good 6th or 7th man, I'm good. That's why I'm not putting 10 plus on the table.
That's where it is.
But there is a fair question to go, if you bring Precious Achiuwa back and make the moves in theory you want to move, or if Domantas Sabonis comes back and you want to start Max at the 4 next to Domas or vice versa or whatever to try the 2 big lineup and whatever. If you want to go that route, well, one, you always have a break glass in case of emergencies. I know Precious can start and hold it down, so that's a good problem to have in that sense, or at least you have that comfort to it. But it is fair to say I can't expect what Precious is doing in terms of production to be the same if I'm bringing him in off the bench at 20 minutes a night instead of playing him 32, right?
Question real quick. Tell me this. What was, in terms of why he was on the couch, what type of a season, I know I'm asking you this, but this just comes to my mind. And
well, let's take a look-ski.
So coming into this offseason, what was he coming off of number-wise?
Well,
I'm curious.
So he was part of the playoffs with the New York Knicks. He spent a season and a half in New York. He was traded from the Raptors to the New York Knicks in 2023-2024. Last season, he played in 57 games for the Knicks, started in 10 of them. Again, he's played in 68 games for the Kings.
Only 10. Okay.
He's played 68 games for the Kings this season, started 52 of them.
Yep.
So very different. But last season, Precious averaged 6.6 points, shot 50% from the field, also averaged 5.6 rebounds and an assist per game in roughly 20 and a half minutes off of the bench in New York. This season, while he started significantly more games, he's only averaging 3 more minutes per game played. His scoring is up from 6.6 points to 9.9 points. His rebounds are up from 5.6 to 6.7. His shooting percentage is slightly up from 50% to 53%. Yep. So his numbers are up across the board, but so is his playing time, so is his volume. But what he showed in New York, which could be to Daniel's point, but also could be to our point, is he still can be very effective off the bench. So the question in Daniel's mind is, why the heck was he on the couch?
That's $1 million question or $5 million question, because that's what I'm wondering, even with this season and what he's doing, are other teams that weren't interested in him before, what necessarily is going to make them interested now?
I think I have the answer to that question. I think Precious Achiuwa being on the couch was a circumstance, or was a symptom of the scared money apron system last summer than it was a reflection on Precious Achiuwa. Truthfully. That's what I think it was. Because Precious is too good of a player to not be in the league. Just like I think Malik Monk is too good of a player to not have anybody interest around the league. It never made sense to me. It was all based on his contract and the amount of scared money around the league. I think Precious, people weren't lining up to sign Precious until he was a league minimum deal in the middle of, or in the early parts of the season. Because maybe what Precious was looking for, or what we believe his real value is, nobody was willing to spend that for a guy that was maybe their 8th or 9th man during a summertime where nobody wanted to spend money, period.
Do you think that Russ's situation too?
I think, maybe. I know that's a lame answer, but I don't think Russ is a league minimum player either.
Mm-hmm. There's also one other extenuating circumstance with the Precious part, which is last year he was getting DNPs on the Knicks during their run. Now, the first year he was with the Knicks, he was part of that midseason trade with like OG Anunoby. He played a lot for the Knicks. But then they traded for Karl instead of Julius Randle, and it was Karl and Mitchell Robinson that were kind of alternating at the big position, and sometimes they'd play them together. And he just completely fell out of the rotation last year. So I think the bigger part, too, is like he had a really, really bad 2025 where he was just a non-factor in their rotation. And because of that, his reputation started to sour as a role player. Because I think he even demanded a trade at one point randomly last year.
I mean, of course I wasn't locked into New York Knicks basketball. I don't think he had a really bad 2025 because his numbers are still solid and his impact is noticeable on paper in the time that he played. But I agree with the idea that they went in a different direction. Karl Anthony Towns, Mitchell Robinson. And what's funny is on most sites, Precious Achiuwa is still listed as a center. He's not played center for the Kings. He's played the 4. He's been the 4 consistently, which I think is a good position for him.
I do too.
Right, but
maybe
also,
that's a thing too.
The other part is it's fine when he was playing, but he straight up did not play down the stretch for the Knicks.
He fell out of the rotation because other guys were there in front of him, and Tom Thibodeau obviously felt a certain type of way about them. There were championship expectations there. I'm not saying Precious was perfect last season, but circumstances matter.
One more thing.
Yes.
This now reminds me. I do not know what game it was after. It was recently. Precious spoke. I think it was a home game. Precious said something along the lines of there's some stuff I was going through.
Yes.
So I do want to. That was your question.
Yeah.
So I do want to add that is interesting. He hasn't come out and talked about maybe if it was his decision to be. So I'm just going to put that out there too. Maybe there was stuff happened that.
I'm sure
I don't know.
Some things went down in New York that obviously either rubbed him the wrong way or there was just a disconnect or something. Regardless, he moved on. they moved on, and the Kings were smart/lucky enough to be able to bring him in. And now I think a lot of teams are going to be fighting for his, or potentially bidding against each other to try and to bring him in because he's a good player.
Courting Precious. Ooh, that could be a reality series for the summer.
Courting Precious. It's like a Kings dating show.
The big sneeze.
I'm telling you, give me some money for my ideas. Come on now.
Wait, so now your ideas are only valid if you get paid for them?
Yeah, they're not free.
That's smart. That's good business.
Brain ain't free.
That's good business. Should the Kings re-engage the Toronto Raptors in Domantas Sabonis trade talks this summer? The answer to that question is it depends on how the playoffs go for the Raptors. Because with last night's loss, last night's loss was really bad for Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
They fell from 6th to 7th, which is from the last guaranteed playoff spot to the first play-in spot. Now 7, you still have a pretty good chance of ending up at 7, but that's still a significant drop. Now you have to play at least an extra game. The Toronto Raptors wanted Domantas Sabonis, in theory, because it gave them a better, more seasoned center to help them compete in the playoffs, because the Raptors were a little, I wouldn't call them as big of a surprise team necessarily as like Charlotte has been, but I think they were better this year than they were expecting, or at least than the league was expecting them to be. Let's put it that way. So if the Raptors go, whether it's via the play-in or the playoffs, let's say they make it to the first round or eliminated in the first round and Jakob Poeltl struggles. Kings should absolutely pick up the phone during the summertime and go, hey, man, you really could have used Domantas Sabonis in those playoffs, huh? Let's revisit this conversation. Yep. We still really like RJ Barrett. By the way, RJ had 20 points.
Yeah, he was good.
20 points on 8 of 19 shooting. Last night he was the co-leader in scoring for the Raptors. 5 rebounds, 6 assists, a block. Did turn the ball over 5 times. That part's not great. But RJ had a solid game. And we know RJ Barrett is connected to Scott Perry. Scott Perry drafted him as the general manager of the New York Knicks.
That's a thing.
And extended him.
Oh, that's really a thing.
So, and I like RJ Barrett a lot.
No, I do too.
So the Kings revisiting this conversation to try and get RJ Barrett here is a big part of the conversation. Another part of the conversation is you move on from Domantas Sabonis and the money that he's being owed over the next handful of years. However, there's no way the Raptors, by any way, shape, or form, are making this deal without trying to send Jakob Poeltl back. I'm saying. And that is still going to be the hiccup. That's still going to be the hang-up. But are the Raptors a little more willing to give up more draft compensation or better draft compensation because they realized, ooh, we really could have used Domantas Sabonis. Jakob Poeltl didn't do the job. And if that's the case, let me throw out just a scenario to you, right? The Raptors right now have the 17th pick in the draft. Right now.
Ooh.
17. Not
That's
the greatest.
Lucky number, but not great in the draft.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder why. You have to tell the story
I like
of why
sevens.
that's. You just like sevens.
But not 7, the number itself.
That was my mom's.
Oh. So you had to take the next one. Yeah.
Oh, so you're okay.
So the Raptors currently have the 17th pick. On draft night, number 16 player guy, whatever his name is, goes. Guy Jerry Bill.
Jerry Curls.
Jerry Bill out of Alabama gets drafted. Jerry Bill's a very Alabama name. Jerry Bill. Jerry Bill is absolutely 7 feet tall. Jerry Bill gets drafted out of Alabama, 16th overall. Okay. Raptors are on the clock. There's a guy there that the Sacramento Kings like. Let's say they go wing and there's a point guard there that they think is good. Okay, now we can address the point guard position.
The 17th pick on Tankathon is a point guard named Bennett Sturtz.
Bennett Sturtz is high on Scott Perry's board. He loves himself some Bennett Sturtz.
Oh, he's also 23 years old. Perfect.
Oh, that's Monty.
No.
Never mind. That's Monty McNair's guy. Find someone else. No. Either way. Bennett Sturtz is there.
Okay.
Kings really like Bennett Sturtz. You call up the Raptors. We'll take Poeltl. We'll take RJ. We'll figure out that contract later. He'll back up Maxime Reynaud. You take Domantas Sabonis, you get the center that you want. You give us 17 right now.
You know, when I think of Poeltl, I think of like when you eat
you
a
think
Sour
of Frankenstein.
Patch Kid.
That's crazy.
You're saying he looks like the Sour Patch Kid?
No, I'm saying when I hear taking on Poeltl's contract, I think of eating something sour.
When you mention the Kings trading for Jakob Poeltl, Kayla turns into the Warheads guy. The Warheads logo. You know the Warheads? Mm-hmm. Yeah, where you just look
where
like,
you're like
all puckered up and all like in pain. That's Kayla's face when you mention the Kings.
Hold on. That's something different.
Relax. Relax. Both of you. Children.
But in all honesty, I hate that contract.
Yes, the contract sucks.
It's so gross.
But you get off of Domas. You do have to take on that contract. You get R.J. Barrett, who we know the Sacramento Kings like a lot.
Right.
It all depends on what, let's say the Kings had the 3rd pick in the draft and they took Caleb Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
You bring R.J. Barrett in to kind of be that 2, hold down that 2 spot because Zach LaVine's not going to be here long term.
Yeah.
You trade for Jakob Poeltl. You bring in that contract. It sucks. It's not the best, but you didn't have to. It's 1 year closer to being done. He's your backup center for Maxime Reynaud if you truly believe in Maxime. And you get a point guard that you like at 17. I'm not saying this is a route that you potentially go, but in theory, I'd have to look at the money and see how much money that would actually free up for the Kings. I think it would free up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at that, and I'll get back to that in the next segment. But that's a potential. That's a route.
Yeah.
That's potentially there for Scott Perry to take on draft night.
I still don't think, to your point of this whole scenario, I am with you on, I still think the Toronto Raptors could be the best landing spot for Sabonis, even moving forward. Again, a lot of things not getting done with trades this year, a little bit of hesitancy, I think, with teams and the money part of it and giving up picks. The summer, I could very well believe that this could come back around. Absolutely. I just think Sabonis, that's an upgrade in Toronto.
Big time.
That's an upgrade.
Big time.
And if they really, truly kind of get disappointed here at the end of the season, if they, for some reason miss the play-in or whatever, they're going to be like, okay, what do we really got to do, like you said?
Yeah.
We got to upgrade that spot.
If the Raptors struggle in the playoffs because of their center position, or maybe R.J. Barrett doesn't play as well, how do the Kings leverage that? That's part of the conversation. We'll take the break. When we come back, we'll look at the numbers behind this hypothetical trade so we have that full context. Plus, I want to play or read for you what NBA executives and scouts had to say about who the best guard is in this draft to be taken number 5 overall, or at least expected to be around that range. We'll share that. And if we have some time, we'll go around the NBA too. Victor Wembanyama had a huge night last night and doubled down on his MVP desires. So stop it. It's not the same thing. We'll take the break. It's Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 5:30 with tip-off at 7. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
If your business depends on reliable vehicles, it's time to upgrade your fleet at myelkgrovechevrolet.com. We specialize in fleet pricing, bulk discounts, and fast approvals, so your team stays on the road and on the job. From work, trucks, and vans to fuel-efficient sedans and SUVs, we have the inventory, service, and financing to keep your business moving. Call or visit myelkgrovechevrolet.com today and ask about exclusive fleet savings. myelkgrovechevrolet.com. Driving business forward.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Tune in every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the Toyota Tahoe Report with Johnny Mosley and me, Elena, bringing you the latest weather conditions up at Tahoe. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
To infinity and the ballpark. Join the Sacramento Rivercats for Toy Story Night on Saturday, April 11th, and then bring your best furry friend to Bark in the Park on Sunday, April 12th at Sutter Health Park. Get your tickets at rivercats.com.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
All right, a little more context to the hypothetical trade conversation we were happening. In the last segment, if you missed it, we were talking about, do the Kings and Raptors revisit a Domantas Sabonis trade conversation a la the one that they had What is happening? Oh, sorry. I thought an ad was playing for a second and I panicked.
What was it?
The music?
It's the music bed.
Oh, that's
But I've
funny.
heard that sound under an advertisement before, and I thought my YouTube was playing. Sorry.
So ads are working.
Ads are working.
There's no way this bed.
No, I've heard this music bed specifically under ads before.
This reminds me of the
Or
Brazil soccer thing.
Something similar to it.
You're close. It's Bad Bunny.
Oh.
Yeah, something similar to it. Jakob Poeltl, Domantas Sabonis, a trade was discussed back at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And if the Kings were to revisit it, we talked about the hypothetical possibility of on draft night, the Raptors, as of right now, have the 17th pick. Let's say they stay there. The Kings, there's someone on the board at 17 that the Kings really like, so they say, okay, Sabonis for Poeltl, for R.J. Barrett, who we know Scott Perry really likes, drafted him in New York, and for the 17th pick in the draft. Well, the finances of this trade change things a little bit.
Okay, this is what I thought.
So Jakob Poeltl begins his 3-year contract extension next year. $27.3 million, $29.4 million, then $27.3 million. Now, not all of this is fully guaranteed, but still, $27.3 million. Kyle, I'm going to need to tap into your calculator brain really quick. Next year, R.J. Barrett makes $29.6 million. So 29.6 plus 27.3 is...
It's about 56, but also I think the player option for Poeltl is next year's, not the first year of his extension.
You could be right.
Yeah, because it's the 26-7 season.
You are correct. You are absolutely correct about that. There's a $19.5 million player option, which he'll accept. So he's $19.5 million.
Well, he's already accepted it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification of that. That actually matters a lot. So the extension doesn't even start next season.
So it's 29.6 plus 19.5. So you're looking at 46.1.
$46.1 million.
Yep.
Domantas Sabonis next year is owed $45.4. So you're actually taking on money in this trade. Now, if you could say, okay, take Devin Carter too, and now it's the Kings are shedding $4 million worth of salary.
You're like, okay,
So-
take our water boy.
So what if we
know?
send them Devin Carter and we get Grady Dick? Because Grady Dick doesn't play for them. So 13 pick bust for 13 pick bust.
Sure.
The money's exactly the same.
Well, then that still puts the Kings at taking on money, which they do not want to do. They want to shed money. Hey, why don't you take DeMar DeRozan, bring him back to Toronto? He's your guy over there, right? Take him back, and we'll figure it out there. It gets more complicated.
It's the Poeltl is the only thing holding up this deal.
Right.
The
only thing.
Oh, sorry. The one interesting note that last year I think our guy is S. Baraheni, who covers the Raptors, is that in the past the Raptors have been big fans of Malik Monk.
Well,
doesn't mean they still want him, but in the past they've explored trade.
But
for
if you're trying to trade Domantas Sabonis and add now Malik Monk's $20 million to Domantas Sabonis, now we're talking $65 million worth of money that you have to move. It just gets more complicated.
Yeah, because then essentially, they're trying to get off Poeltl.
Yeah. So now it's if now
Poeltl's
knowing
contract.
the money and Poeltl's contract would slightly take on money in this deal, it would have to be more than just the 17th pick. And I don't think the Raptors are doing that. So maybe they revisit this, but it probably goes the same way as trade deadline did. We can't get past a certain point.
What can we do? Can we get Poeltl? What Poeltl needs to get going. I mean, not in a bad way, but just what can we do just to make sure that Poeltl's not part of this? He'd have to be part of it.
Well, let's look at who the Raptors have guaranteed beyond this year. I mean, the other one was Emmanuel Quickley, but I
remember that being brought up.
I think the Raptors at this point probably wouldn't move Quickley and Barrett for Sabonis.
That is an awful contract.
Well,
by the way,
why would the Raptors take? It's the same conversation we had at the trade deadline. Why would the Raptors take on Sabonis and keep Poeltl on that contract? That makes no sense to them. They never would do that.
Well, maybe they should have never signed it.
Probably, but that's their problem.
Well, their general manager who signed it was relieved of his duties weeks later.
He gone.
Which was that was so weird. They let Masai Ujiri do their draft and then let him go. That was a very weird situation.
Yeah, so maybe this conversation doesn't go anywhere, but maybe you revisit it because maybe the Raptors, again, are eliminated, and maybe they are willing to part from 2 first-round picks in order to get this deal done.
I don't know.
To
answer your question, Kayla, they only have Well, I guess there is one path to do it. It would be Sabonis for RJ Barrett and Grady Dick, but then they would still have Jakob Poeltl, who they have to move. So,
but they'd get an upgrade.
So these are the only
Sabonis,
players next year that have more than like $20 million on the books for the Raptors. It's Scotty Barnes at 41, Brandon Ingram at 40, Emmanuel Quickley at 32, RJ Barrett at 29.6, and Jakob Poeltl at 19.5. The next biggest one is Grady Dick at like $7 million.
Yeah, I don't know if it happens, but you might revisit that. Earlier in the show, we were talking about this article from ESPN where they talked to a bunch of different executives and scouts around the league about the top 5 picks in the draft. You can go back and we talked about Caleb Wilson, Cam Boozer, Darren Peterson, who should go number 1 overall. The one section that we didn't get to is which guard fits best at number 5. So it seems like, again, the consensus is that the top 4 is going to be those 4 in some
So this was a question. Which guard?
Which guard fits best at number 5? Essentially, who's the best guard in this draft? It says, a clear consensus is starting to build for DeBonsa, Peterson, Boozer, and Wilson in top draft boards. So it seems like that's the top 4 in most people's minds. Let's start with Darius Acuff.
My guy.
Okay, this is a East executive talking about Darius Acuff. Just the shot-making, killer instinct he has shown, his ability to score at all 3 levels. His defense does worry me some, but he has had to carry a pretty large load. I think there's never been a worse time to build around bad defensive guards, a West executive said. We see this time and time again. The flashiest offensive impact in the draft doesn't necessarily end up winning the most.
Mm-hmm.
It ends up being Derek White, Drew Holiday, and Alex Caruso. You go down the list, and we kind of have proof.
Is this what the morning
this
show
is what
took
Dave
us off
talked,
of
Yeah,
yesterday?
this is what Dave was
Okay,
talking
this
about.
morning?
And we kind of have proof of concept of this right now in the trade market. Trae Young was traded for basically nothing. People fall in love with guards, and I know a bunch of teams who are falling in love with Acuff right now. So, a cautionary tale about Darius Acuff. We talked about this with Carmichael Dave in the morning.
I thought that was Dave's idea. This was a GM or an executive.
No, he was reading this from this article.
I thought that's what he was saying. Okay.
What I pushed back on with Dave, and I hear the point, and what I will bring up again now is Trae Young is the convenient comp to bring up right now because it's the negative comp. Why is he any more Trae Young than he is potentially Tyrese Maxey?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gotten an answer to that question. It's just glass half full or glass half empty, except if it's Tyrese Maxey, it's far more than half full. We're talking full, because Tyrese Maxey is an undersized scoring first guard, and everybody loves him and calls him a star in Philly. Trae Young was a star and celebrated in Atlanta for a while, and then it got to a point where it didn't work. If Darius Acuff Jr. ends up being more Trae Young than Tyrese Maxey, yes, that could be a problem to this scout's point. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's disingenuous to only bring up the bad example in Trae Young and not acknowledge a good example in Tyrese, who I think is a very valid, reasonable, current NBA comp to Darius Acuff Jr.
Yeah, and that's the one I've heard the Trae Young thing. I don't even know how many times this week. I knew this was all obviously going to happen too, because Acuff, if you really think about it, he didn't start getting a lot of pub until recently, till the end of the regular season.
Right.
And now it kind of like in a weird way like went against him, because he's now been the hot topic and kind of blown up to a different level that now it's like people want to be the first ones to take him down and be like, what, he plays no defense and he could be Trae Young, and so I'm going to just like, I'm sticking with my guy in terms of if they fall to that 5 spot and he's there, I still think that you go and take him. And look, I know you can't teach an old dog complete new tricks, but you can teach him some. My dog knows how to roll over. My dog knows how to sit and lay. All the other stuff, maybe not. But if he can at least learn a little bit of defense, maybe that's enough because of his offensive upside. That's all I'm going to say.
Also, I'm just going to say Tyrese Maxey kind of overrated.
I think Tyrese Maxey is one of the best scorers in the league, period, right now.
Yeah, he just has high volume, and he's not as good as the other high-volume scorers, and his team's not as good.
And you're right, Chris, in the YouTube chat. And that's one of my biggest things about Acuff is he's more physical than Trae Young. Absolutely. Absolutely. I just see a different type of player altogether compared to Trae Young.
Yeah, can we address
that's just me.
Can we address this really quick, too? Darius Acuff is measured at 6'3".
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey is 6'2".
Oh, is he? I didn't even know that.
Who said this in the chat?
Acuff is way shorter than Maxey. Aaron.
Yeah, no, he's not.
No.
They're almost identical in size. So, again, it's people just want to acknowledge the negative comp and not the positive comp. Do I think that Darius Acuff Jr. is going to be Tyrese Maxey? I have no idea. But if we can't just make it Trae Young, negative. Oh, here's a very positive offensive comp of Tyrese Maxey. Oh, we're going to ignore that because Trae Young. It's
I haven't
BS.
seen one guard positively that he's been compared to.
I hate
except for when it first came out in AI, and that's just a whole different
It's BS.
thing.
Yes, the league is going away from smaller scoring guards, but there are still smaller scoring guards that are at the top of this league. One of them, Steph Curry. I understand not wanting to comp anybody to Steph freaking Curry.
Yeah.
I get that.
By the way, hey,
Tyrese Maxey is
Steph?
a fair comp. Steph is 6'2", 6'3", I think.
6'3", yeah.
6'3", which is what Darius Acuff Jr. is listed as. Is he really 6'3"? I don't know. Really quickly, I'll read this really quick, then we get to our crossover with the Drive, guys. Here's a West executive on Kingston Flemings. Kingston operates a little bit differently. A better overall package when you look at both ends of the floor. He's really impressive to come in as a freshman and play the role he's played on one of the top teams in the country and on a team that notoriously isn't easy to play for if you don't play hard. It's so impressive that the big shots are his on a team with experienced guards that have been there and won at that school. An East scout said. You see his shot form, but I'll bet on the other stuff, and we can work with his jump shot. So that's what an executive or a couple executives had to say about Kingston Flemings. We'll take the break. When we come back, we'll hear what Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles have to say. It's our crossover with the Drive guys coming up next on Matt and Kayla.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 5:30 with tip-off at 7. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports 1140.
When your check engine light comes on, do you see a repair bill or do you see peace of mind? For 20 years, CarShield's been the name America trusts to help keep you on the road. While other companies stop covering you when your car gets older, CarShield offers protection plans up to 200,000 miles. With over $1 billion in claims paid, we don't just promise protection, we deliver it. Don't let a breakdown break your budget. Get the flexible month-to-month coverage you deserve. Go to CarShield.com. That's CarShield.com today.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
A's fans, the 2026 season is coming fast, and single game tickets are on sale now. Be there for an exciting season packed with theme days, giveaways, and firework nights, including bobbleheads, jerseys, hats, and much more. And getting in is easier than ever. Tickets start at just $8 for select April and May games. From opening day to unforgettable summer nights, there's something for everyone at the ballpark. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/tickets and be part of the excitement this 2026 season.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Spring is here, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings, plus get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Card
collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Emran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
Buying golf gear is easy. Buying the right golf gear, well, that's different. At Hagen Oaks, they don't just sell equipment, they fit your entire game. With TrackMan technology in the Player Performance Studio, your clubs are matched to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Fitting helps you find the golf ball that performs best for you. Hagen Oaks Putter Fitting Studio dials in your stroke. And FootJoy's 3D Foot Scanner finds correct shoe size for your feet. It's a smarter way to play better golf. Total Game Fitting at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80.
Today is National Burrito Day, and to celebrate, Jim Boy's is selling a snack-sized Parmesan-crusted burrito called a Snackerito in 3 delicious flavors for just $4.95. Go by and visit your local Jim Boy's and enjoy today.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
Thank God Whitey Gleason's back. We have an adult in the room again.
Woo! Thanks, Matt.
Good to see you.
Thanks.
Alan did a fantastic job holding it down with Jay while you were
That's
gone.
what I hear. I'm not surprised at all.
So
well, he had it was an hour and a half.
It was an hour and a half,
Oh,
and I
sorry.
had a 4-hour
featuring Brendan
the day
Nunez for
before.
half an hour of it.
Yeah, it was about 20 minutes.
It's a good conversation. I liked it.
It was about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Great job, Alan.
Can I ask your opinion of something?
Please.
May I? Kayla? Matt?
Yes.
Kayla? We're having Frank Caliendo on our show today.
Uh-huh.
Love him.
And he's going to be in town next Tuesday.
Yes.
So I know he's been on the morning show, and he's going to be on, I think, again next week. So I...
What is that?
What is happening?
I texted, that was just, yeah.
Guys, we're doing a show.
No,
I keep thinking that there's stuff being said, and I am not imagining this anymore.
No,
it is actually happening.
Alan, okay, we're going to... So,
guys, we're doing a show.
Alan,
Whitey.
Continue, Whitey.
Continue.
Okay, so I texted the morning show, and I said, look, let's have Frank Caliendo be the judge. Alan will do his best impression. And then you guys, whoever you want on the morning show, you do your best impression. And then Frank will pick the winner.
I like that.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Dave says, he's like, what are we doing? Oh, Whitey text me something. I don't know. You guys do what you want. So Christopher Lott just came in. Christopher Lott, I think, is accepting the challenge.
I like that.
But that's all I'd heard. Dave did not even respond.
Of course he didn't.
Dave was grumpy because he didn't get a burrito this morning.
Oh, okay.
Join the club, pal.
Right.
None of us got
Right.
burritos.
So aren't you wondering who Alan's going to do?
Yes.
Alan, who's going to be your impression today?
I haven't decided
No.
quite yet. There's just so many.
There's so many.
Yeah.
How about Brian Windhorst?
There's so many.
Can you give us 5?
Oh,
and
That's a lot.
we pick a top 3.
Yeah, I wasn't really prepared.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
with the
I
list.
didn't ask him about it. I kind of volunteered him.
Yeah.
So we're
Oh.
still negotiating.
Oh, that's.
But I know he's going
That's
to do
a big
great.
part of the conversation.
I know he's going to be great.
I think you'll do great.
We don't even know, and Dave is acting like, oh, Whitey's, I got this text and Whitey's throwing me off what I was talking about. Dave, you can talk about your pastrami later. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
I don't
what I'm
what are we
saying.
talking about?
Right.
What are we actually talking
He
about?
would love to do something like that, I feel like.
That does
do a
feel
voice
like
or something.
right up Dave's content alley
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
I think it was a
Well,
good
and he's
suggestion
in-
by you.
he's
Dave's
in
being grumpy.
Yeah, I
New
think
York or
He's in New
whatever.
York.
Like he could do a New Yorker accent or something like that. Right?
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah. There are a lot of different options out there. Really, Whitey's going to carry us, obviously.
Well, I'm not
No,
gonna
no,
lie.
no. I'm recusing myself.
Why?
Because you're the man. This is your chance to
Why?
shine.
Why? I didn't
I've heard
ask
you
for any of
say
this.
you do
Do what?
Stephen A.
Do
And I've heard you say that.
what?
I'm not being racist.
Oh, yeah, Central
I've heard
Stephen
you
A.
say
Smith.
that.
Yeah, but everyone's...
oh my God.
Stephen A. Okay,
Crazy.
let's say it like this.
Uh-huh.
There are certain impressions
Yep.
that at this point we've heard everybody do, right? Like
Yeah.
everyone's got a Trump. Everyone's got a Stephen A. Well, what else? There's more on the list.
I don't think I have a Stephen A.
So I don't know.
I don't think so, yeah.
I don't know if those even count at this point. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask Frank to do Stephen A. or Trump because I want to hear him do ones that other people can't do. Obviously, I think he would do those well, of course, but we were watching some clips before the show, and he's got such an array of different people.
How about Adam
that's what we wanna
Schefter?
hear.
Do you do an impression of any?
I think he does. I think.
Do you do an
That's
impression?
where I got.
he
According
does.
to sources, I think.
Yes,
I
he
think
does.
Frank
Well, I didn't
yeah.
know if you were
According to
talking.
Kayla's done shows with Frank.
Yeah, Kayla, I didn't
Yeah.
know if you were asking me to do Adam Schefter.
Oh, if you want.
No,
Oh, okay.
I do not have an Adam Schefter.
Do you do
Okay.
impressions of anybody at this station currently,
Oh God, he'll probably say me.
or in the past?
Well, look here,
You
big
don't-
fella.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
hold on, keep going.
No, that's all.
was that?
Say it one more time.
Was that Draper?
Whitey, big fella. That's all.
He does a really good one that we can't do on the air right now, but it's really good.
Whitey, big fella. Look, and Whitey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm checked out today, big fella. I got vacation.
See, I'm telling you, he's a up and coming superstar in this field.
See,
Alan Stiles.
Alan Stiles, he's like the Bronny. I'm the LeBron James of the station.
See?
I've heard you
See?
do a Kayla Anderson impression.
I have definitely not done a
No,
Kayla
it's
Anderson.
just a Southern accent.
Oh, hey there. Boys and girls, go Hawks. Go Hawks.
I know, because I talk like that.
Go Hawks.
Sounds like Kayla to me.
Yeah.
You know, I like
I
that.
used to cover the Titans, y'all.
I like that Cam Ward. He can really spin it, y'all.
Oh my God, there's 3 Kaylas in the
The
room.
boosters are happy with
Minus
Cam
me.
Ward.
I guess you're the third.
Well, hi.
Well,
Can one of you just
He
say
did
Mike
call me-
Vrabel?
He did call me Kyla.
I
the other
did.
day.
Oh.
She wanted to kill me.
has anybody ever had some apple pie
Whoa.
with a glass of milk?
Christopher Laud, I can already hear Alan backing out.
I should
Uh-oh.
love Cal Raleigh.
I never was in.
Wow. Alan's just finding out about
Christopher
this.
Laud is the king. I have 12 different random group chats with Christopher
Well,
Laud.
I have none, and he got my
You're
number
in
the
this
first
one.
wrong.
You should be in this one.
He
Yeah,
got
you're
my-
in this one.
You remember? Did you guys hear he sent a middle finger to a random
Oh.
541 number?
Yeah, part of a April
No,
Fool's.
I'm not in that. He's sending the wrong.
He's sending it to the
He's
wrong
sending
person.
the
But
wrong
it-
one again.
No, you're Kayla Anderson,
No, but it's the wrong number again.
Well, he has.
but you're
that number.
saved.
Oh, I'm not in it.
I think
I think you might be having an
Oh,
old
yeah, I
person
am.
moment. Yeah. I think you're having
make
a.
the text bigger. Make the text bigger. Put it in twang. Maybe you can't read it.
Oh my gosh.
As one of our phenomenal voices of the Sacramento River Cats, Kayla does have a request of of meeting Bryce Eldridge
So I'd like to meet Bryce Eldridge.
for
Thank you.
athletic reasons.
I
Exactly.
can see what I can do.
Thank you.
Can we get her to throw out the first pitch too?
I can see what I can do.
Well, that would be a team thing, a show thing.
Well, there's one person.
No, I did it before with like two.
There will be one person.
Oh, are you the GM?
Then you got it. Then you can get it done. You can get it done.
He's your one outlet to making this happen. I wouldn't piss him off.
Well,
That's
Sales
right.
had asked too.
Okay, go with Sales.
So he's your one
No,
outlet
I'm just
to making
trying
it
to
happen.
debunk
you
that.
got Sales.
Debunk that too. Now
She
they
did just
can't
kind of
get me
say,
the Eldridge.
I don't need
Yeah,
Alan
no, you
to
don't
do
need
it.
No,
Yeah.
You got Sales.
We still need the other thing to happen, the Bryce thing to happen.
No, you got Sales.
No, Sales can't do that.
No, you got Sales. Sales. Sales.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun.
Look, y'all just made fun of me.
Y'all just
So-
made fun of me.
Y'all just made a
So-
fun of me.
Listen, y'all just made a fun of me.
Y'all just made a friend of me.
Yeah.
Y'all done made a fun of me, and now y'all done made
It's
me
so
an
funny
enemy.
because I believe at the beginning of the show, I went against saying that he did not back me. Well, this is put this on camera.
I don't
It's on
remember
camera.
that.
My
It's on
teammate
camera.
not backing me on
Hey,
camera.
I
right
always
now.
back my teammate.
Right now.
I don't like that you
Right
done
now.
made a fun of her.
Right now.
You got a banjo?
No, I bust you over the head with it.
Whoa.
Hey, there's the violence. There's Kayla Anderson right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Whoa.
There's Kayla Anderson.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
You excited about the A's opener, Matt?
I am.
Tomorrow?
I'll be there. I'll be there tomorrow.
Wow.
Yep.
As a fan?
As a
or-
fan.
Whoa.
I'm going to be there with my son. It'll be his first MLB game. We took him to his first River Cats game since he was a baby.
Wow.
On the home opener of the River Cats.
That's
the other
right. You
night
went when I wasn't there.
on Friday
Wait,
night.
you're
That-
missing Kings?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to the Kings game.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was your first baseball game that you can remember?
My first baseball game
Yeah.
that I can remember was I went and saw the A's take on the Texas Rangers at the Coliseum.
That was a great game.
Against Alex Rodriguez. And the game went to like 14 innings because we had a 14th inning stretch. This is that I remember. We had a 14th inning stretch at the Coliseum, and I got really sunburned because we were on the third deck with my grandma. My grandma would take me to A's games every summer as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did the A's, were they victorious?
They did win.
All right.
They got a walk-off win.
All right.
I don't think that was my first ever base MLB game, but that was the first one that I remember vividly. And I remember going and seeing Felix Hernandez like one hit the A's like 17 times over my life. I would always go to A's Mariners and just watch King Felix strike everybody out and watch Nelson Cruz hit home runs.
And now you're helping your young son create some A's memories. How about that?
I'm excited about it.
What impression was that?
I don't know. That was
like half Harry
Y'all
Carey.
right over there?
I'm great.
I cannot wait
You having
for
a senior moment?
the Alan Styles impression off with Frank Caliendo. What else you got on the show today? Full 4 hours.
Yes. Who else do we have today? We have Jim Duquette,
Yes.
former general manager of the Mets and the Orioles.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'll tell you why the Kings have never, ever used DeMar DeRozan properly, and why I'm not a fan of R.J. Barrett at all.
That's right. And,
Yeah.
and 4:30, have the Kings found the next Keon Ellis?
Oh.
I think maybe
God.
they have.
I think they
Wait.
might do one better.
Oh. Oh.
I think he should be sick again.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, God. He's all up on medication or something. He's going crazy. It's The Drive, guys. Coming up next, Whitey Gleason, Alan Styles got you covered for the next 4 hours. Kayla and I will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Until then, have a wonderful Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.
Peace.
Y'all.
Tomorrow night, Kings and Pelicans. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner.
Starts at 5:30 with tip-off at 7. Listen to your Sacramento Kings.
On the official home of Kings basketball, Sactown Sports.